Astraeos has just recently received a huge update on Ark Survival Ascended. The update has added a huge new part of the map, tons of new creatures, as well as a whole boss being the terrifying Hydra. Now, when Astraeos originally released just over a year ago now, it was only about 30% completed, and I said I wouldn't do an 100 days on the map until it was fully completed and done. However, with this new update, getting the map to near 80% completion, and the man behind the map saying there isn't too much more new content coming after this, I figure now is finally the time. So I will be spending the next 100 in-game days on Astraeos, building an epic base, fighting the many bosses and mini-bosses this map has to offer, as well as establishing Kipper as the Greek king of this arc. And finally, Kipper and I would like to ask if we can hit 25,000 likes on this video. It would mean a lot to Kipper and I, and it really supports us. Alright Kipper, we've got some terrifying monsters to defeat by day 100. We better get to work. After naming myself Greek Grantee to fit the vibe of the map, I looked through the different spawn zones and ultimately decided to pop in at the beaches of Corinthos southeast. Okay, here we are in Astraeos. Okay, I really don't know much about this map besides that it's massive, and a massive map calls for a lot of exploration. But first, I had to get a few things going as the basics in Ark never really change. I had to fist fight a tree for wood and thatch, and then use that to craft my first pickaxe. But there are a few things I know about, like up to my north, and I guess the north part of this bay, I know there's like loot crates or chests, kind of like Ragnarok, that, you know, you can get metal tools from, so that would be really good to get. But first, I had to get the basic trio of primitive cutlery, so I crafted the hatchet as well as a torch to defend myself with. And I also got introduced to the custom textures of the Astraeos supply drops right away. Wow, okay, those supply drops look really cool. Those are not normal supply drops by any means. Okay, I think I'm gonna stick towards the water on the beach. It's safer, and I'm just gonna need the water. I think this is gonna be a decently long run. Going into photo mode and zooming in, I could already see these ships that were close to the spot that I needed to get to in order to find those crates. Oh, we got some dodos here. Hold up, I could totally get some hide. That being said, I pulled the torch out and I deep fried one of the dodos, which clearly made the rest of his gang upset. Oh, this guy wants to fight. I'll give it to you. I'll throw them hands. Running down the beach, I eventually came across some more formidable opposition, a blue glowing raptor. I think it's called an astral raptor. It's basically just a reskinned alpha raptor. Oh, that's not good at all. There were some regular raptors in the area as well. So I turned 180 degrees and got to farming up a few bolas in case I had to meet them personally. Oh wait, am I even high enough level? Oh no, I'm not. I need to be level 9. I unlocked a few essential engrams before seeing that a wild argy was closing in on those raptors. And sure enough, they soon started beef with each other. So I took the opportunity to run past them while they were distracted. Alright, if you don't know anything about Astraeos, really all you need to know is that it's massive. It's just a little less than double the size of Ragnarok, one of Ark's biggest maps. So really going anywhere in Astraeos is always a process. Fortunately, Astraeos has a somewhat rare but very useful creature I can tame called the maguana, which is pretty much just a reskinned Maywing back from ASC. But as you all probably know, Maywings, or in this case maguanas, are the single best creature to travel on in Ark. They can glide at insane speeds with almost no cost to stamina whatsoever. So getting one of those maguanas tamed as soon as possible would definitely be the play here on Astraeos. A maguana definitely won't be my first tame because I do think they spawn kind of inland, so I'm gonna have to tame hopefully a pteranodon first. Alright, anyways, this is where I need to be. So up in these forts right here, there should be some loot crates that I can harvest for metal tools. That'll give me a nice head start. Yes, okay. A loot box just like this. Yes, dude, a metal hatchet and a crossbow just from that. And the second box I opened up gave me a couple of metal pickaxes too, so I was now fully set. To make arrows for the crossbow though, I first needed to level up a bit as I was still only level 8. And a good way to get some early XP is to kill things around the beach, but I first wanted to get dressed since nighttime was coming. So I picked a few bushes around me and made the basic cloth set adrip before going back into hunting mode. Dodo. Sorry bro. Die! Dilo, that would be good too. Let's get the torch out. I think I can kill this. After killing the Dilo, I unlocked the arrow engram and got to work on actually farming up a few. There's a parasaur right here. I should definitely tame this. A 140? Yeah, I want myself a 140 parry. So I need to get up to level 21 for Tranks. There's no way I knock that out with a club. And while I'm farming up these cooking pots here, I just want to quickly announce that my second channel, Grantee 2, is now live. I've promoted the channel once in my previous video, but now there are the first few videos out over on Grantee 2. So please make sure to head over there and subscribe, and make sure to watch those videos after this one. I promise you don't want to miss out on the crazy stuff that I got going on over there. Okay, there we go. level 21. So now I'll be able to make tranks as well as just other structures that I need for the playthrough, like a smithy, forge, and then the metal tools. For now, I just needed to set up a thatch foundation with a mortar and pestle to cook up narcotics. So I split a bunch of raw meat in my inventory to spoil while I farmed up the resources for the outpost. Okay, I've made up a thatch foundation and a mortar and pestle. Just place it right here, doesn't really matter. I also farmed up some bolas to keep on hand, and I crafted a campfire to cook some meat as living off berries was not really sufficient anymore. While waiting for the meat to spoil, I unlocked the hide armor engrams and ran down the beach looking for more victims to turn into hide. Perfect. Hello, sir. I'd like to introduce you to my crossbow. Oh, we've got an iguanodon right here as well. I'm gonna kill this. This will give me a lot of hide. Help me! Sorry, bro. Has to be done in the name of progress. With the hide acquired, I returned to pick a few bushes, and just like that, I could craft the entire set of hide armor. And of course, I retired the good old cloth drip. Alright, check this out. Boom. How'd you like that transition? I hope that was good. Editor, please make it good.
No, I don't think I will.
The raw meat still had a little bit before it spoiled though, so in the meantime I unlocked the Parasaur saddle engram and farmed one up. There we go, there's a Perry saddle. Alright, here we go. Got a bunch of spoiled meat. Let's turn that into narcotics and we'll turn them into trank arrows to knock out this Parasaur. 9 tranks, that should be enough to easily knock out this 140 Perry. With the Parasaur knocked out cold, I quickly gathered a few Mayo berries from the local shrubbery. I then fed them to Perry, but I had to return back to get more since it is a level 140, and it's actually going to take a decent amount of them to tame up. I'm level 26. I wonder if I can open that blue drop. Let me go see. Unfortunately, I needed to be level 30 to open the drop, but the travel up here wasn't in vain as I did spot a landed pteranodon nearby. So I approached it with my bolas, and as soon as I saw that it was in fact a level 150, I threw them at it and launched a couple of arrows into its dome. Wow, okay. I don't know how rare that was. Man, that's really lucky. Stats look alright as well. By the time I ran back down to the beach, my Parasaur had tamed, so I slapped the saddle on him and named him Perry. Alright, Perry, I've got some work to do. I think first, I need to find and take out a baby for prime meat to tame up that pteranodon. I cannot let that thing slip through my fingers. Oh, perfect. Level 25. Can't ask for much better. I think I'll kill this parent carbo as well. I need to acquire 75 keratin / chitin for the PT saddle. There we go. Give me my arrows back, please. All that just for a measly 17 pieces of keratin. Anyway, now that I officially turned this baby turtle into Batman, it was time to help it on to a better world as well. Sorry. Let's actually get some XP on Perry. This is gonna be brutal. Okay. Sorry, dude. It's for the greater good of me, not you. Alright, I've got a bunch of prime. Let's go back and feed this pteranodon. I fed the PT all of the prime that I had, and seeing that it was taming up rather quickly, I decided to stand around it until it woke up. Okay, great. PT's tamed up. I'll name this Flappy. Classic. What are the stats looking like? Pretty solid. Alright. Flappy, you follow me. Now, Flappy's saddle would also need more hide as well, which was really unfortunate news for this bystanding Parasaur. Killing that may or may not have attracted the attention of a nearby argy, and as luck would have it, it was a level 145 argy. Not that it mattered all that much though, since I did in fact have a crossbow, which was surprisingly effective at dealing with such ops. Okay, yeah, stone arrow to the face doesn't feel good, does it? Does it? That's what I'm talking about. Even more hide for me. That sorted out the hide situation for the pteranodon saddle, so now I just needed to get chitin or keratin. So running back down to the beach, I decided to leave Flappy over at one of these camps while I went out in search of said keratin or chitin. And I really didn't have to look for too long as there was a level 20 archelon dragging itself across the beach. Alright, there's a level 20 archelon right here. I've never killed or really interacted with one of these things before, but it's got a shell. It's a giant turtle. Surely it gives keratin, and it's very slow. Oh wow. On the very early morning of day 3, after shooting basically all of my arrows and completely annihilating the durability of my crossbow, the big turtle finally succumbed to the pain and dropped dead on the beach. I know this is Astraeos and everything here is pretty primitive and Greek styled, but taking down that archelon would have been a lot easier if I had a tank. Perry, is that a... Dude, where'd you get a tank?
I took it.
I can tell, but where'd you get it?
From War Thunder.
War Thunder just gave you a tank. For free, with no rules or anything?
Kind of. They let me have the tank on the condition that you read this. If you don't do it, I'm probably gonna kill you, so.
Whoa, no need for that. I'll read it. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's now available for free on PC, consoles, and mobile devices. Perry, this is kind of seeming like an ad read. Do I have to read all of this?
Dude, just do it. I get a free tank if you do it. It's a pretty good deal, especially for me.
Okay, here, where was I? Oh, there are over 2,500 tanks, planes, and helicopters, as well as ships from the 10 most powerful nations. And they range from the 1920s all the way up to the fighter jets and battle tanks of today. You can truly immerse yourself into the combat in War Thunder with all the incredibly detailed vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects. There was already a community of over 95 million players battling, so it's time for you to join the fight as well. Perry and I's favorite part about War Thunder is the in-depth customization you can put on nearly any and all vehicles. Just recently, War Thunder released a new mobile version of the game, now available on iOS and Android, so you have no excuse not to join the fight. So play War Thunder today using my link in the description or pinned comment to download War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or even mobile. And using my links, you will receive a massive bonus pack featuring the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver, and 7 days of premium account. This is for a limited time only, so make sure to click one of my links immediately. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. We good, Perry?
Yeah, we're good. Thanks.
Okay, I just put pretty much all of my arrows except one, like over 50, and all of my crossbow's durability into killing this thing. It better give me some keratin. I'm never killing one of these things ever. I mean, it gave me keratin, but just as much as killing a carbo would. Okay. That's quite unfortunate. At the very least, when I ran into the camp, I smacked the first box and I got a fresh crossbow. So I threw the old broken one away, and I also farmed up new arrows since I really didn't have that many left. After restocking, I ran back down to the beach where a new carbo was waiting for me, so I got to work on getting more keratin. Oh, there's a drakeling right there. Hold up, I want to tame that. Those are just nice to have. I do have a torch. I mean, I can do this. Hold up. Yo, quit bullying the dodos. Come be mine. Oh, they don't deserve that. I say that as I've killed a few dodos myself today. Once the drakeling was done frying the dodo, it flew straight over to Perry. What's your... Bro, that's just not necessary. Anyways, the carbo was now getting ganged up on by compies. So I waited around until they killed it before snagging a little bit of keratin out of its corpse. We then ran down the beach with Perry and actually came across a beach shark. Dead megalodon? Does this give keratin? Hold up. They do on Valguero. Oil. Hide. Okay, I'll take the oil. Seeing that there wasn't much anything further down the way that I was heading, I turned back around and returned to the beach that I had my little outpost on. And I killed most of the compies before attacking another turtle that had spawned in, and after taking that out, I had enough keratin for the pteranodon saddle. Oh, I have enough for a PT saddle. It's just, I'm not high enough level. Okay, I'm almost there though. I'm almost there. The obvious solution would be to go out and grind a few cooking pots, so I got to work on that without a second thought. Alright, finally, there's my pteranodon saddle. Unlocked and crafted. I also unlocked the maguana saddle, which you could actually get from level 21, but it required a decent bit of metal to craft. Anywho, for now, I put Perry to work on doing some lawn mowing for narco berries so I could cook up more narcotics that I would need to actually, tame the maguana. Alright, let's make some billboards. So you need to trap maguanas in. They're just like maywings. You shoot them once, they jump and try and take off and disappear forever. So you gotta trap them in, and they move pretty quick. They're annoying to trap for sure. So we're gonna make up some billboards, and I'm just gonna quickly try and assemble the billboards around them, and then I'll be able to shoot them. With those made, I ran up to camp to saddle Flappy as it was time to head out and actually look for one of these maguanas. So here we go. I've got everything I think I need to tame a maguana. Now it's just, actually finding one and flying around this giant map that is Astraeos. Don't worry, I'll come back for Perry. Flying through the grassy valley, I saw 3 blue drops all coming down really close to one another. So I landed for stamina and waited for them to land. There's no way I landed right next to a raptor. Anywho, the first blue drop was surrounded by compies and buggy boys. So before looking inside, I smacked them up for chitin and hide. Oh, tranks, narcotics, and some better legs. On day 4, I flew up to this mountain next to me as I saw some crystal up there and I could use that for a spyglass. Okay, maguanas, play that Drewski meme. Where y'all at? Oh, there's tech dinos on this map. There's tech dinos. Oh, that's sick. Okay, that'll make getting electronics and oil very easy. While flying around, I also stumbled into my good old friends, the beavers. And it did look like they were behind on some of their payments as well, since they managed to build up quite the fortification. Oh, that's a giant beaver dam. Cementing based. I mean, I'm not gonna pass up on some free tax, you know me. Oh, here's an obelisk. This thing looks sick. I flew down to check out the terminal, and even that had a really cool custom texture. Wow, okay, here's all the bosses. So we've got, okay, that's the new hydra that was added. Then there's Thodes the Widowmaker. This dude's been here for a bit. And then Medusa. And then the manticore is, well, I don't really know why that's on the map, but cool, I guess. I don't really think the map needed the manticore, but whatever. Anyways, those bosses are a long way right now. Far away. I need myself a maguana right now. Now, when I said these things were somewhat rare, what I meant to say was that these things have a really low chance of spawning. These things exist. Only map they spawn on, and I can't find any. At the very least, I got some nice fur gloves from this blue drop. Man, where are all the maguanas at? I just circled this whole island and didn't see a single one. There was, however, one more trick up my sleeve, and that was the teleportation that's available on this map, similar to that of Genesis and Fjordur back on Ark Survival Evolved. Let me, teleport to, Lemnakis. Should be a bunch of spawns over there. Where am I at? Okay. The search continued into the morning of day 5, and I got slightly distracted by a purple drop with the ring that actually has some interesting stuff inside. Ooh, it's a nice pistol and a nice chest piece. Definitely wear that. Dude, do maguanas not exist? I was really starting to lose hope after traveling half of the map and not seeing any, but eventually I actually spotted one hiding under a tree. Oh, there's a maguana. Oh, 145. Okay. I cannot choke this thing, dude. After all that searching, it was nice to see the Ark gods bless me with such a high level. So I pulled my billboards out and boxed in the maguana, making it stuck. I was still worried that it would jump out though. So I dropped a few trees and picked some bushes for fiber, and I crafted some pillars and ceilings to cover up the top as well, just in case. I really don't want this thing getting away. Alright, there's no way it's getting out of that. On that note, I loaded up the crossbow and got to knocking it out. Oh. It's already out, okay. And just like Maywings, these things love some quality prime meat. So I headed out to find a baby dino to use as a sacrifice in the name of my progress. Oh, yo, these raptors are going too close to my maguana. I led the whole gang and a carno over to the nearby wildlife, and I soon found an unattended baby stego, so I forcefully deprived it of prime meat. Okay, this thing is taming. And it tamed up super quickly, so I now have to figure out how to get this thing back to my home beach somehow. You see, the saddles for these things require metal to craft, and I don't really have any of that right now. So my best bet was to try and just teleport back to Corinthos. I'm kind of close. You know what, this island seems safe. I'm just gonna leave it, and then I'll come back. Flying back towards Perry, I stopped by a blue drop, but that's when I spotted another drakeling. So that's when I hopped off Flappy and pulled out my torch to try and befriend it. Yo! Kill experience? Alright, I gotta kill the parasaur. Sorry, dude. I need this drakeling. I don't need it, I want it.
Hell no, man. What the?
One wild parry wasn't enough to satisfy the drakeling's thirst for blood though. So I chased this pteranodon down with my bolas and absolutely sniped it out of the sky. Holy shot. If only my crossbow shots were as holy as that bola though. No!
Bye, have a great time!
No! Are we serious? I decided just to hop back on Flappy and continue my flight to Perry after taking that L. Okay, I think this is metal. This is a lot of metal. We need to make a forge and smithy so I can make the saddle. That being said, I decided to set up a little camp here so I could smack up these nodes and get the metal cooking. I quickly farmed up a thatch foundation and a forge, and then placed it down and got the smacking up the metal. I then got the other resources I would need for a smithy and waited for 5 ingots to smelt and crafted said smithy. To make the maguana saddle, I needed 30 more ingots. So in the meantime, I collected all the fiber and I got to work on making a second forge. With 2 forges cooking now, all I had to do was wait until I had 30 ingots in total and I could finally saddle up my maguana. Alright, while this metal is just now finishing smelting up, we'll unlock some more essential engrams. But of course, a random Kentro just had to show up out of nowhere and start beef with the inanimate objects known as my little outpost. Yo! 145? What's your issue, dude? I quickly hopped on Flappy to get its attention and led it off the cliff, but the damage was already done. Oh, he broke my smithy. This guy. A little setback, but nothing crazy. So I made the new smithy, and soon enough, the final metal ingot was ready to craft the maguana saddle. Travel is going to be a lot quicker from now on. Let me loot up this purple drop, grab some water, and then I guess we'll head down to the maguana. And I'm underage, but I guess I'll take the beer. Anywho, I flew over to my maguana that was straight chilling on the rock. So I saddled it up and hopped on to test it out. I really don't feel like having Flappy follow me back right now, so I'm just gonna leave him there for now. Nothing's gonna kill him. Okay, so these things just glide. They're super quick. I'm definitely not very good at using this thing. Okay, there we go. So you can glide pretty quick. Their vertical scaling ability wasn't the greatest, but the speed at which you can fly horizontally made up for that multiple times over. But anyways, you definitely need one of these things. Why are they so bouncy when they run? They look funny. Besides the goofy animation, I ran back to my little camp and repaired the forges so I could pick up everything and hopefully find myself a more permanent spot to live, now that I can actually explore the map at a reasonable speed. So I'm not going to be able to take Flappy or Perry with me right now, but I want to go set up a permanent base straight away. And now Astraeos is huge. There's a lot of places to build, but I want to go build out in the new desert that was just added in the huge mega update. One, because it's new and I want to explore all of that content, and I'm sure you guys want to see it as well. But also, it's close to Throcus, I think that's how you say it. The lava island, which you can see on the map right there. It's pretty close to that. There's a lot of tames and resources I'm gonna need from that island. And taking off on the maguana, I finally got the hang of gliding at super speed, so you guys can really see just how fast these things actually are. Yeah, we'll definitely just glide straight over there in no time. Okay, so we're already coming up on the new giant area that was just added. I really don't know what to expect, I'm not gonna lie to you. I accepted the blue drop offering the island had to offer, and I ventured into the actual desert. However, I did also have to keep the fact in mind that my permanent base would probably need to be pretty big. The bosses on this map are really tough, and I would need to do a lot of breeding to get a strong army. Yellow drop over there, I'd like to get that. I know the drops on Astraeos are very good. Oh, here's the Grand Tortugars. Oh, 140 right there. They were just the basic knockout tames, so I definitely plan on getting me one or more of these. And they also seem to be pretty common here down by the water. This area looks nice. This looks really nice. This little hill up here also looked to be a very decent contender for my permanent base. It was very flat and super spacious, and there were only a couple of ways to get up to it, so I could easily defend it with gates and spikes if I needed to. Okay, there's like 2 ramps up. Let's explore a little bit more just so I'm totally satisfied with my selection. Okay, no, this looks pretty sick though, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like everyone and their mom's gonna be building here, but it's all like pre-built, you know? Like, there's nothing for me to build here. Anywho, jumping up to the hill above this little city, I actually found another one of those astral dinos, and this one was an argy, which is new. Alright, there's definitely a lot of cool places to build around here, but honestly, I think this plateau thing is my favorite. So I think we're gonna set up here. But first, I had to loot this yellow drop that landed right below. Really nothing. There was even this cool little cave right beneath a spot that I wanted to build on with more great tortugars running around. This is definitely home. Not this cave, but the plateau above it. Hey, you guys aren't friendly, are you? Oh, nope, not friendly. Not friendly. Enough tomfoolery though, it was time to actually get to work on setting up my base up at the top here. And I did know of a mod for Astraeos that adds new structure skins, so I quickly went back to the menu to check that out as well. Okay. Yeah, here's the structure skin mod. Let's install this. Since I got that structure skin mod as well, I could build using wood instead of stone, as it would all look the same, and I really don't feel like farming up for a whole stone base. So anyways, after unlocking the engrams, I got to work on farming up everything that I needed. Okay, I think I've got all the structures I need. Let's assemble this base. Okay, There we go. All done building. See, so like this looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's like a good little wooden beachside shack. But it doesn't really fit into the vibe of the map. So let's change that. Okay, yeah, that's definitely more Greek looking. That looks sick. These structure skins really are cool. That being said, it was time to actually move into the crib. I placed the smithy down just beside the door with the 2 forges next to it. And I also noticed the mod included skins for forges and the smithy, making those look really cool as well. Oh, that's so sick. That's so cool. All maps should have this. That's so sick. Okay, let's make some boxes, and I'm definitely gonna add the skin to those as well. I farmed up 4 large storage boxes and ran back inside to line them up against the back wall, then of course apply the Astraeos mod skin to them. Okay, yeah, that's sick. These skins are super cool. Bang, okay man, we are set up. Let's move in. I then brought all the resources and other things that I had with me inside. After that, I repaired my crossbow and crafted a sickle to make farming fiber easier. And I could fit 1 more forge comfortably in my base, so I wanted to get 1 more and then go out on a metal run to fill them all. Alright, I've got 3 forges with wood in them, ready to start smelting stuff up. Time to start farming metal. The maguana itself had a decent carry weight, so I don't have to worry about getting an argy and anki just yet at least. Instead, I flew out to another little mountain here in the desert and I got to smacking up the metal nodes that I could find. I returned back to base just before the end of the day, and I threw whatever metal that I had gathered into the forges to get them cooking. That being said, I did fly back out to get more on day 8. Alright, I'm gonna take out this parasaur. I'm gonna need some hide. Oh, these things can harvest berries. That's crazy. Alright, we've got a pretty fair amount of metal. Let me snatch up some crystal. On my way back, I stopped by this yellow drop with a ring, and inside I found an insane ascended chainsaw with some stone structures. Even when these things glide super slowly, they're still so fast. Back at the crib, I did some quick inventory sorting before throwing all the metal into my forges and unlocking the flak set of armor. The chitin legs and ghillie chest piece that I had were really solid though, so I only needed to craft a flak helmet, gauntlets, and boots. So we got the flak on, so we actually have a pretty solid armor set on now. Shouldn't be so squishy. The combination of chitin, ghillie, and flak did look rather cursed though, so I went back into the menu and looked through the cosmetic mods again. Alright, I installed the wardrobe mod. Here it is. Oh yeah, we are going to be dripped out. Okay. Oh, there's a maguana saddle skin too? No way. Oh wow, do I look cool. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really digging these skins if you can't tell. And the maguana skin gave my maguana a really cool makeover. But after flying down to get some water and back up to base, I decided to remove it since the feathery mohawk type thing on the front of it was obstructing a lot of view in first person. Metal production is going well, but it could be better. I think you know where this is going. I want an RG and Anki. I already had plenty of trank arrows and narcotics ready, as well as a small trap for an RG. So I quickly farmed up the rest, being a stone ramp and a door. The plan was to tame not 1 but 2 RGs, so I could get an imprinted baby for that extra flight speed. Since this map is so big, even the small speed increase can save me a lot of time in the long run. Now heading out to actually look for RGs, I first stopped by a red drop, and it had quite literally the least amount of loot I've ever seen in any quality drop. Is that a real drop? 10 bullets. 10 bullets, that's kind of insane. Anywho, that joke of a drop was soon made up for in the form of a level 135 female RG. So I then proceeded to jump up on this rock platform before quickly assembling the trap. So I'll make this trap where they just fly in. Once they're in, you close the door and they can't get out. As planned, I shot the RG and let it in and then closed the door, making it stuck so I can knock it out. There we go. First RG knocked out. I picked up the trap as I wanted to go and get a male taming at the same time. In this challenge, I've got a lot of bosses to beat, meaning I really do have to save as much time as I possibly can. What also helped was the fact that I spotted said male RG literally not even a minute later. A male 140 right there. Okay. Can't ask for much better. I shot it to get it to follow me closer to the female, and I quickly reassembled the trap before leading it in. Got it. Nice. Okay, 2 birds knocked out, man. There was a whole family of hyenodons just below me, so I dropped down to munch up the babies for prime meat. They're just not fighting back, so that was very easy. That was very gruesome. I want to get cryopods. So I fed the argys and flew back home to see what I would actually need for said cryopods. I pretty much had everything already except the polymer, but getting that shouldn't really be an issue considering I live in the desert and mantises probably spawn out here. Blue drop with a ring. More trinks. Oh, a toilet. That's nice. I'll take a bench. Okay, I will put a bench in case I ever just want to sit out here. I don't know. I placed the artifact pedestal down as well as the toilet next to the bench. Anyways, I then started gliding across the desert in search of mantises. And I even stopped by a blue drop, and inside I found a couple of Mastercraft Anki saddles. On the morning of day 9, another drakeling flew by me. So I parked the maguana and pulled out my torch to try and tame it once again. Kill experience? No. Killing that raptor allowed me to feed the drakeling, so I grabbed some prime meat off my maguana and that pushed the taming progress to 30%. Then the next side quest the drakeling bestowed upon me was to get crafting experience. So I whacked a few bushes, smacked up a tree, and made some thatch foundations. Then for the third side quest the drakeling just needed harvest experience, so I whacked up a couple of rocks and fed it again. And now finally for the last one I needed crafting XP again, so a few foundations later I finally had my own drakeling. Boom dude, I've got a drakeling. Chill out. Where are you going? The boosts that it gave me were pretty nice, being a little boost in my movement speed, gained experience, and loot quality. Okay, let's get back to the mission at hand of acquiring polymer. Come on, I mean, surely there's mantises out in these dunes, right? There we go. With the polymer acquired, I flew straight to the obelisk to get the cryopods crafted. Cryopods, 6. Bang, perfect. And just as I arrived by the 2 unconscious argys, they tamed up, so I stuffed them into the cryos and brought them back home. Purple drop with a ring right here. Okay. Man, the drops are like really abundant around here. Anyways, I threw the birds out so that they could breed, and in the meantime, I ran inside to place the bed that I found. And I also crafted another campfire to cook up some meat. Man, a red drop coming down right here? I chose a good place to live, bro. The RG soon dropped an egg, but it was too hot outside to incubate, so I'd have to get air conditioners going. That being said, it was time to get to work on the Industrial Revolution, meaning obtaining a fabricator. To make one, I needed spark powder. So I demolished this giant hatch frame that I had gotten from a drop and made a couple of mortar and pestles, and then started cooking up said spark powder. Now let's go grab the crystal, as well as this red drop right down here. Might as well. Holy drop, dude, this is a good drop if you're on a PvP server. I put the new flak leggings on before gliding down to the cave below my base to smack up crystal. That was before this great Tortugar aggroed onto me. Not to worry though, as I found more crystal on the mountain not too far away from my base. So after smacking that up, I flew back home and crafted the fabricator. I'm already running out of space, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, I'm wondering if I can like make a quarter ceiling and then put it up in the ceiling right here. Let's try it. Okay, that works. There wasn't much space left inside the crib, but that made it all the more cozy, so I wasn't complaining. Anywho, to make a generator and the air conditioners, I would need even more polymer. So I hopped on the back of my maguana and headed out to find another mantis or two. There we go. With the polymer once again acquired, I flew back home and I crafted a couple of air conditioners as well as a fridge. To power all of that, of course, I needed a generator too, so I grabbed the last few electronics that I had in my storage box and made one. Okay, well, I've got the structures I need, it's just nowhere to really place them. It might be time for a base expansion already. I wanted to have the baby RG raising while I worked on any base expansions. So for the time being, I placed the generator just outside the base and slapped down a few ACs so I could start hatching the egg. Perfect. I waited for the incubation timer and I actually got twin little RG birds. And they both actually had the good stats from the parents, but were expecting some crazy food for imprint. Regular kibble and prime meat jerky. No way. No way y'all are requesting that for imprint. I just have cooked meat jerky. Oh, I can't even raise them. I want to get the imprint, obviously. The base expansion had to commence regardless, though. But I did have this chainsaw now, so that should make farming up everything a lot easier. Okay, this is what I got for like a hatchery fridge type area. Now I like it. I don't know if I'm a fan of these actually. Let's take this out. Okay, as I was saying, yeah, this is what I came up with. I like it. We'll be able to have some fridges, some ACs. It's a good place to hatch dinos, and then we can bring them out right here. Not gonna lie, this is kind of really reminding me of the base that I built in my vanilla Ragnarok 100 days. I'll flash that on screen right now. Anywho, now that I had the wooden structures down, it was time to Greekify it by applying all the Astraeos skins. Okay, I have officially, now with this, Greekified everything. I gotta coin that term. I think this looks pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie to you. I picked up the generator, the ACs, and then I grabbed the fridge to move them into the new part of the crib. I was pretty much out of gasoline though, so it was time to go out and get some oil to cook up more. Alright, I think I might fly over back towards Corinthos. There's a bunch of tech parasaurs over there I can take out for electronics and oil, which I need. I don't actually know how to get oil otherwise on this map. That being said, I first dropped down to a blue drop below my base, and inside I found a Mastercraft Dodex saddle and an Ascended Pike. I think I might fly over Thorocus here as well. Just kind of scout around, see what there is. Oh, it's a whole Dreadnoughtus. Anyways, I made it back to Corinthos in the matter of a few seconds, and I first waited for this red drop to come down, which actually gave me a bunch of good stuff. Oh, holy Theory saddle. Whoa. Holy drop, dude. After grabbing that, it was time to hunt down the clankers. They weren't super common, but they dropped a decent amount of oil and electronics. Bang. Yeah, this is some good farm. 25 oil, 16 electronics. Not bad at all. Alright, I'm struggling to find tech parasaurs now. I've only killed that one. Might have to consult my friend Google and just, see where to get the oil on the map. Oh, hold up. I'm back at the beavers. I'm definitely gonna collect more tax. Giant beaver dam. Oh, I'm rich. These guys have not paid their tax in a minute. Just doing my duties. Anyhow, I looted another blue drop and I got cooked meat jerky again. Now, I did need cooked prime meat jerky to imprint one of the baby argys, but at least I knew I could actually get that from blue drops around the map. As for the oil though, I did a little bit of research and I found a spot where I could whack up some oil, so I started heading over there. I say started because as is usual by now, my path got blocked by a drop, and this wasn't just any drop either. Oh, holy long neck, dude, the drops on Astraeos are just insane. This long neck's so good. It's gonna be great for trinking things out. Dude, I'm just making it a point to stop at every drop. Okay. Drops aside, I made it to the supposed oil location, and I did in fact find a bunch of nodes. So I smacked up some of them before taking off and gliding back towards base. A long journey cut short by a red drop and the fact that maguanas can fly at hypersonic speeds. Back at the crib on day 12, I sorted out my inventory before throwing some oil and hide into one of the forges to cook up gasoline. I then enabled mating on my argys again, as I didn't have high hopes of finding either kibble or cooked prime meat jerky in a drop anytime soon. So once the egg dropped, I brought it over to the hatchery and waited for the baby to pop out. Fortunately, this one only wanted to go on a walk for imprint. RG looks alright. Let's make it a saddle. To make said saddle, I needed more hide since I was pretty much out of it after cooking up the gas. So I crafted up some more bolas first and then flew down on my maguana to do a little bit of killing. Oh, there's skeleton NPCs here. They're guarding a loot drop. Ooh, I'm not fighting them. Definitely don't have the stuff for that. What I could fight, however, were these defenseless parasaurs and other little critters roaming the beaches. And while looking for more of those, I stumbled into my next victim, a level 150 Anki. Oh, there's a 150 Anki right here. I quickly smacked up the low-level beta Anki before loading up my crossbow and getting to work on knocking out the 150. Wait, why does it still have a mate boost? Does it have a kid? Oh, it's right there. Okay, whatever. At 150 Anki knocked out. I am not complaining. Alright, let's keep farming hide for the RG saddle. With the saddle made, I flew back home and the RG had already grown up by now. So I slapped the saddle on it and headed out to grab a few drops, as well as kill a few random ops for experience and to heal it up quicker. Alright, I just need to keep leveling up this bird so I can do actual metal runs when the Anki's tamed up. Hold up, can I use the drakeling to give it XP? How do I do that? Okay, there we go. Got it. Oh, yeah, you can just give it 12 levels. That's so nice. Nice, man. That's why I wanted a drakeling. The fact that I could level up my RG just like that doesn't mean the dinos around my base are safe though. While the Anki was taming, I still had plenty of time to commit a multitude of crimes against them, all in the name of progress, of course. Anywho, I opened this random purple drop with a ring, and as luck would have it, I found some prime meat jerky inside. now that I no longer need it. Oh, primate jerky. I can raise this other argy. Well, it's kind of late now. Whatever, I'll do it though. That's really just Ark for you. I flew back home and threw both of the baby argies out, and I imprinted the one that wanted the primate jerky, but the other baby would have to be sentenced to eternity in a cryopod, as I really don't think I'm finding kibble in a drop anytime soon. While the baby matured though, I returned to the desert to do some more killing, and while doing so, I found a decent level Dodex, so I picked it up and carried it back home. I'd like to make up some trank darts. It'll go to sleep super quick with this long neck that I have. Man, I need to get like a wall torch in here. It's kind of dark. There we go. Alright, let's work on putting together some darts. I had a little bit of gunpowder from looting drops, so I turned that into rifle bullets and darts, which I then used to trank out the Dodex that I brought back. Wow, okay, yeah, this long neck is insane for taming. That's really nice. Did 5k torpor just like that. Alright, we'll get this thing taming. I don't need it right now, but it'll just be nice to have when I probably do eventually need it. The Yankee was pretty close to taming up, so I grabbed that Mastercraft saddle that I had and headed over on the RG. Oh, there's a drakeling. This guy's gonna cause issues. Alright, I'm just gonna wait for this thing to tame, and then we'll go on a metal run. Finally, that took a while. I named the Yankee a hangcat before going out to look for said metal. Oh, I just came out swinging. This is some good metal farm though. Like, it's just taking a while to fly around to get to the nodes, which is why I wanted an imprinted RG. But I'm also realizing this aspect of summer from the drakeling, plus 10% movement speed. That's nice. Anyways, I got a little bit more before flying back home to unload all the metal into my forges. Now, I did bring a bunch of metal considering that I only had 3 forges, so I would need a sufficient amount of fuel to keep them burning. Luckily though, that shouldn't be an issue with my overpowered chainsaw. And my Dodex tame too, nice. Pretty productive day, I must say. Wow, this chainsaw is insane. That one tree solved my fuel issue completely. So I threw all the wood into the forges, and I actually wanted to craft some more of those to, speed up the cooking process. So I unlocked and crafted Dodex saddle, and then brought the little guy out for his first unpaid job. I'm gonna need more hide. On that note, I flew out to find some unfortunate soul in the desert to kill for said hide before flying back home to craft the last couple of forges. Alright, with this, I have a total of 10 forges. As you can imagine, I didn't really have the space anywhere inside to place down 10 forges. So another little base expansion would have to happen here in order to place them. Alright, I could just make this a crappy looking platform, but I'm kind of determined to make this look, I guess, alright. But first, I gotta set up the actual platform to build on. Okay, this is what I've come up with for the forge type area. Let's Greekify it. I first applied the forge skins, and then I brought all the metal and wood over to start cooking up ingots again while I Greekified the rest of the build. Alright, I think I might move the fabricator down from the ceiling. Oh, surely there's a fabricator skin. Oh, wow, that looks crazy. Okay, this is sick. I'm digging this. This is a super cool base. I'm gonna get a screenshot of this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm proud of myself. Let me know what you think of my base so far down in the comments. Now that I was happy with the base I've constructed so far, it would only make sense to celebrate by doing something that I love. That of course being to go out on another metal run, purely out of the need for more metal of course. The addiction is not getting to me yet guys, don't worry. Okay, we will drop the Yankee just right there. After splitting the metal into all the forges, I went out to get some wood as well, which cost me approximately 5 seconds of my time holding left click with the chainsaw. Alright, I am very happy with the metal that is cooking up right now. Alright, I'm gonna go over to the obelisk. It's day 15, we're doing pretty well here. I've done a lot of just PvE, building bases, taming dinos, farming. I'm gonna check out this drop, and then we're gonna look at the obelisk here and see what we actually need for bosses. So as I said, I want to take out all of the bosses and mini bosses in this 100 days. And so there's 4 bosses and then maybe three mini bosses. Does that sound right? I'm not totally sure. But first, I'm gonna target them all on gamma and we're just gonna see what progress we can actually make, because there's just no chance I can beat them all on alpha in this video. But I think what I'm gonna do, since I got this pretty insane Theres saddle, is we're probably gonna use mainly Theres for the army to take down the bosses. I wanted to use something different, but there's not really any other powerful boss killing dinos on this map besides Rexes and Theres, which are just, I don't know, you kind of use them on any playthrough, which is a little annoying, but whatever, not much I can do. The Ascendant saddle I found had over 170 armor, and I was pretty sure I could find a bunch more, if not a whole blueprint from the drops here on Astraeos. And the manticore is also on this map for whatever reason, so I'd like to use like lightning wyverns to take that down. And then I know some of the mini bosses are open world, so we can tame like gigas or karkars for those. So got a lot of work ahead of us. That being said, I would need a ton of narcotics for tranks if I wanted to do all this taming. So it was probably time to upgrade my mortar and pestles to a chemistry bench. I already had enough metal cooking and the paste from the beavers, so I just needed to figure out where to find silica pearls for electronics. In the meantime though, I picked up Henket and flew out to get crystals, since that was also pretty abundant here in the desert. Okay, I think I should tame a Procoptodon for berry farming as well. Just in the meantime while I'm farming up these resources. I had a few billboards laying around in my storage box, so I grabbed those and made more trank darts. And then I headed out with a maguana to actually find a Procoptodon, and a decent one at that. Why are these Procoptodons all terrible? Whoa, Astral Direwolf. Hold up, I might come kill this with my argy for levels. I know I'm getting kind of distracted. Okay, let's knock out a Procoptodon first, then I'll come kill it. That is, if I could actually find a good Procoptodon, as basically all of them were level 50 for some reason. Is this guy level 50? 45, 25, 50, bro. Level 95. I think I'm just gonna take it. Oh! As if those microraptors weren't enough, a whole world war was started before me as I tried to kill them and bring peace to the land. I feel like the Doomslayer out here, man. The random little fights continued into day 16, but I eventually got some room to breathe, so I quickly billboarded in the kangaroo and got to knocking it out. Alright, toss the rare mushrooms in, that'll tame it. I'm going back to base, and I'm making arrows for my compound bow. I'm not dealing with this. When I returned, I grabbed my chainsaw and some gas, since I needed to farm polymer as well, and I could probably get tons from the manti. For the time being, I grabbed some rifle bullets to substitute the compound bow and arrows, since my long neck had a ton of damage too. Let's take out this Arthro. Yep, that's why I wanted to use the long neck. How much poly can I get? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That should be enough for a lot of arrows. Yeah, those are some expensive arrows, but I'll be able to kill pretty much anything. 380 damage. Wow, okay. Anyways, I also unlocked the Procoptodon saddle, but to make one, I needed pelt. What in the desert is gonna give me pelt? I mean, I know there's a snow, but like, it's on the other side of the map. You know, hold up. I can just teleport. Well, let's test this out. Come here, let me land a headshot on you.
Now that's a lot of damage!
4,200 damage, okay. Wow. The compound bow was in fact very effective. And after teleporting to the snowy side of the map, I had a quick look around to see all the creatures made out of pelt. And then I decided ultimately that this random dire bear would have to eat a couple of metal arrows so I could turn it into a Procoptodon saddle. And I actually got loads of pelt from that, but before heading back home, I also shot a few things like this Bronto, Thyla, and argy, since I needed more hide. And honestly, it's just fun to shoot things with this compound bow. Anyways though, with that gathered up as well, I teleported back to the desert and flew over to the Procoptodon just in time for it to wake up tamed. Here we go. Alright, definitely not the greatest Procoptodon, but it's okay, it's just a berry farmer. Back at the crib, I gathered a little bit of fiber from the local shrubbery before crafting up the saddle and repairing my flax, since it did take a few hits. Okay, so berry farming will be taken care of, but we gotta lock back in on the chem bench. The spark powder and polymer I could easily get, but for the electronics I definitely had to go out and farm some silica pearls. So I grabbed a pair of flippers and a scuba tank before heading out towards Corinthos. So it's nice, maguanas are very quick swimmers. So I think there are pearls in this bay, but then these clam type things, these are also pearls. I mean, there's a ton right here. Alright, surely this has got to be enough pearls for what I need right now. Definitely not opposed to taming an angler. On my way back to base, I stopped by a blue drop, and inside I found a pretty good ascendant sickle. When I returned though, I queued up all the electronics I would need, and in the meantime, I went out to farm up more polymer. Okay, these mantises should be pretty easy to dispatch with the compound bow. Come here, boy! Anyways, that was the polymer situation sorted as well. So lastly, I smacked up a couple of rocks with Hank for spark powder and then made the chemistry bench. With that made, I split a bunch of raw meat in my inventory to spoil and hopped on the pteranodon to do some annual lawn mowing. On a side note, I crafted a couple of canteens to help me quench the everlasting thirst that comes with living in a literal desert. Once those narcotics finished crafting, I queued up a bunch of spark powder and gunpowder for rifle bullets, and then of course turned them all into tranq darts. So we got that chem bench made up and a bunch of darts, so taming's not an issue anymore. Since I did turn all of my narcotics into darts, I wanted to get a few more to actually keep the dinos asleep, especially the Therias since they do take a hot minute to tame and require a bit of babysitting. So one more lawn mowing and spoiling session later, I cooked up a bunch of narcotics and crafted a simple Theri trap. You know what? Taming Theris is super annoying the normal way. I'm gonna do something I don't know that I've ever done before, and I'm going to try and make kibble. Now, Theris are picky eaters since they require exceptional kibble to tame, and that can only be cooked up with extra large dino eggs, and you can really only get those from like Brontos, Gigas, and Rexes. Basically just the big boys of Ark. But Rexes were probably my best bet since they are pretty easy to tame, and I can just tame low levels. So that's the dino egg part sorted. Well, that's the plan at least. Kibble usually requires either crops directly or some sort of soup like a foco chili, which is also cooked up with crops and other ingredients to make. So that meant it was time for me to make a little greenhouse expansion to the base. Okay, so this is where I'll put the greenhouse. Put some pillars here. We're gonna make it look good, obviously, best as I can. Greekify it as I build it this time. Okay, here's what I got for the greenhouse. I'm digging this. Now it's time to actually get crop plots and get this irrigated. That being said, I grabbed my Dodic to do a little bit of overtime and I farmed up a total of 20 large crop plots. I then unlocked and crafted the water intake, a tap, and a couple of tanks so I could get irrigation up to my base. I placed another tap on the side of the crib as well for easier canteen refills and moved the toilet closer as well. Alright, well I could farm fertilizer, but I'd rather just tame a Phiomia and use that. On that note, I headed out to look for a poop piggy, otherwise known as a Phiomia. And to absolutely no one's surprise, I stopped by a red drop. And it actually hooked me up with a decent Ascendant pump shotgun and an Ascendant RG saddle. It's a pretty alright shotgun and a good RG saddle. After a drop like that, it would only make sense to loot a couple more drops, but those were unfortunately not up to par. So, you know, I actually got back to looking for Phiomias. Man, where are all the Phiomias at? There's like every spawn here where it looks like Phiomias would spawn, but I'm not seeing any. There we go. One tranq dart was enough to put the piggy to sleep, so I grabbed a few mayho berries from the bushes nearby and I fought off a gang of buggy boys before finally feeding the pig. Since it was a low level, it tamed up pretty much immediately, so I put it in a cryopod and flew back home. I then hopped on the pteranodon to do a little bit of lawn mowing for stem berries, and after a couple of forced feedings, the Phiomia produced enough feces to fill the crop plots. So I fertilized them all before grabbing the crop seeds and seeding them as well. Alright, we finally got crops growing. It's nice. Alright, now I need to focus on getting a cooker to actually make kibble. Whoa, this thing is expensive. Paste, oil, polymetal. Okay, this won't be too bad to string together, I don't think. I brought a ton of metal over to the fabricator, but I didn't actually have enough paste or oil. So it was time to go back out to find some freedom juice, as well as visit my friends again, the beavers. And while I was flying over to them, I also stopped by this hill to gather a little bit of oil since, you know, I need that too, aka the freedom juice I just talked about. There's a maguana. I forgot they don't have genders. I'd kind of like to tame it just to have as a backup. There's another one. And I found even more of them, so it looked like this island specifically had pretty common spawns for them. Yeah, I think I'll, you know, as long as I can knock it out with like one dart, I'm gonna try and tame this 85. Got it. And since they were so common around here, I decided that I would also get prime meat straight from the source. I should have taken that into account. While looking for more things made out of prime meat, I ran into a level 135 maguana that I definitely wanted to tame as backup. And since I didn't want to risk it flying away, I quickly farmed up a few billboards and I dropped a high-level ceratosaurus that was terrorizing the local population. And its child had to pay for its parents' crime as well. And I got the prime meat from that, so its killing was definitely justified. Where'd that maguana go? After locating it again, I placed the billboards around it, making it stuck, and I quickly crafted the pillars and ceilings too to make sure that it wouldn't take off on me once I actually shot it. I fed the 135 before flying back to the level 85 as well. No! Dude, its taming effectiveness got destroyed. Not even worth having. I waited here for the 135 to tame, and once it did, I flew over to get it cryoed up. I did also unlock my first 3 skill points for finishing the milestone, so I put them into the hot-blooded as I usually do. It's just too nice to be able to heal 3 times faster. Oh, there's a 145 right here. Alright, I'm gonna tame it. My trap was right here though, so I picked it up and went over to the 145. However, I accidentally bit it with my maguana, so it took off, never to be seen again. Yeah, I think I lost the 145. It's alright, we got that 135 tamed up. Enough of getting distracted though. I was still in need of a little bit of oil, so I continued looking for that. I don't think I'm having much luck finding oil rocks, so I think the last few bits of oil that I need, I'm just gonna try and hunt down tech parasaurs or tech dinos. I also need paste, so I gotta loot taxpayers while I'm over here. And when I finally found the tech parasaur, I had some hunting competition in the area chase it down and kill it. Luckily though, I was quick enough with the bow and managed to kill the mega raptor before it ate the body, so then I could harvest it up for myself. Oh, just in time. Ooh, tech rex. Alright, I have enough oil and paste, and we got some electronics on top too, which is nice. Let's head back to base. When I arrived, I threw the resources into my fabricator, but I still needed to get the poly from a couple of mantises in the desert. Before going out to get that though, I wanted to breed my maguanas. And yes, even though they don't have genders, they can still be bred and both of them will drop a fertilized egg. Don't ask me how that works, it's just, it does. Anyways, I flew down into the desert and packed up an argy for raw meat and then returned to hatch one of the eggs to get the babies growing. Oh, twins. Okay, so those are growing now. Let's get the poly. With the polymer situation sorted, I flew back up to base and fed the remains of the mantises to the maguanas before finally crafting the industrial cooker. I made a little platform for the cooker to sit on just below the greenhouse, and I moved my generator closer to power it up. Okay, so for kibble, I need the... I don't even need the crops. Well, how do I make focal chilies? Okay, I just need no. Okay, these are actually cheap. So I really just needed the extra large eggs now, which of course I can get from Rex's. But before going out to tame any of those, I crafted an industrial grill too, and then picked up my air conditioners to make space for it in the hatchery. With the maguanas now being fully grown, I threw one back out and used my drakeling to give it a few levels. I got a dragon horde key too. Holy levels. I'd like to go open this dragon horde. I think it's a pretty low tier though, which is kind of annoying. I was still curious to see what was actually inside though, so I crafted up a shovel and flew over to the marked location. So how does this work? Am I tweaking? Like how do I get it? Oh, it's right there. Huh. Ooh, a fabricated crossbow? That's actually pretty nice. I don't think I'll need a mega. Oh, I got 2 of the kibble that I need, man. Nice. And the veggie cakes, those are nice too. Turns out the dragon horde chest was a little better than I had first anticipated. Alright, I've got too many tames out, and this is driving me crazy. I need to get some cryopods first things first. I quickly grabbed all the necessary resources, and I flew out to the red obelisk to craft up the cryos. Then when I returned, I stuffed most of my tames in them, leaving the only ones out that I would actually need to use. Okay, that's a lot more organized. Anywho, back to what I was doing. I needed to cook up some focal chili for the exceptional kibble, so I grabbed some raw meat from my maguana and then threw it on the grill. And then in the meantime, I threw my Procoptodon back out to farm all the berries. Sable autocraft. Oh, my forges are running out of juice here. Oh, all the metal smelted up, perfect. I grabbed the citronal from the greenhouse, the cooked meat from the grill, and threw that into the cooker to finally make the focal chili. As for the kibble, I needed both the eggs and rare flowers, so the plan was to find and tame a few low-level Rexes, and I then could breed them up and use their eggs for kibble. So that being said, I hopped on the back of my maguana and flew over to the lava island where I soon found the first culprit for taming. Alright, maybe taming dinos on this island isn't the greatest of ideas. Yeah, there were a lot of hostile creatures around as well as these lightning creatures, which are basically just corrupted dinos from extinction, but yellow. Oh, quit killing this. I need this. So when do Carnos attack Rexes? A gas back here? What? They spawn here? This island is so weird. The Rex tamed up on day 24, so after cryoing it up, it was time to go out and look for females. I don't feel like taming anymore on this island. Not gonna lie, this island's kind of like hell. Looking for Rexes also may or may not have included a little bit of drop hunting since they were pretty much everywhere and unavoidable at this point. Oh. Good hatchet. For some reason, now that I was looking for low-level female Rexes, all the ones I found were really high levels, like 140 or a whole 150. Female 150. I don't know, dude. Like, I might have to knock these out just to see how good they are. So if they're solid, I mean, I wouldn't mind having some good Rexes, you know? Alright, I'm knocking out the 150. You can't just come across a 150 Rex and not just look at the stats. Okay, that actually knocked out in a really good spot. The health stat looked to be pretty good pre-tame, but the melee was seriously lacking. It still had a chance of waking up really strong though, so I went out to look for prime meat to actually tame it. Oh, hello. Alright, well, I'll just leave this while I'm taming other females. That was the plan at least until I spotted this absolute gem of a dino. Oh, that's a 150 Uti. A 150 Uti. Hold up. I have to knock that out. What is my luck right now? However, I didn't have a trap on me right now, and I did not feel like getting fear roared on a maguana. Okay, I've got an idea. No, dude, I keep getting sidetracked. I do need to come back and tame this. I think Desmos are on the map. I'll tame a Desmo and then come back and tame this, because I can just fly above it and shoot off the back. Anyways, I continued going up the so-called Mount Olin. I was still looking for low-level Rexes, but instead, I found some really cool-looking architecture. Dude, what is this place? This is sick. Finally, I made it to the top. This is sick, dude. Hold up. Turn fog off. You can see, like, the whole map. Let me turn clouds on. This is sick, dude. You can see, like, the whole map. But I'm here for Rexes, not views. Well, I'd like views on the video, not... Okay, you know what I mean. Gliding down from this giant mountain, I made it down to this sort of tundra area. And I actually found a low-level female Rex, so I knocked it out and threw some prime meat into its inventory. Almost 60 astral argy. Okay, surely I can kill this. My bow does a lot of damage to argies. Yeah. Wow. That was awful. A lot of experience, though. This is how you probably farm dragon horde chests, man. Oh, surely it's an astral mammoth. That might be a little harder to kill, but surely I do this a few more times, get, I think 30,000 XP is the max, then I can maybe get a crazy dragon horde chest, some good loot, maybe some saddles, kibble. I let the mammoth be as there were other easier to kill astrals around like argys and raptors. On a side note though, my 150 Rex tamed up, so I quickly flew back over there to cryo it up. Alright, ma'am. What are your stats looking like? I don't think it's very good. And by the time I returned, the low-level Rex also finished taming. But I came across an astral direwolf on the way, so I packed that up real quick. Crappy loot, but good XP. Anyways, I picked up the female Rex, and with that, I could head back towards space to finally get them all mating. What is that? For raptor. Astral raptor. Oh, 20, I'll kill it. Wait, where's my drakeling? Looking at my tracking list, the drakeling seemed to be right here in front of me, but I couldn't see it anywhere. So I hit a quick relog to make sure that I wasn't tweaking. Brother, where's my drakeling? Is it in the mesh? Oh, what? Where did you come from? I've got nearly max XP. I nearly get a max dragon horde chest. Nice. I don't know where my drakeling went during that time, but he's back. That's all that matters. While traveling back to base on day 25, an ominous message appeared on my screen saying Thanatos has started prowling on Therokis, which was the island I was directly heading towards. Wait, isn't that a king titan that just wanders around? I think I've seen something about that. Hold up. And it sure was a king titan appearing right before me. Oh. Wow. So like, what are you supposed to do against that? Like, what's the point of fighting him? Does he drop loot? I didn't really have the capacity to fight this thing anyway, so I continued making my way home. And when I arrived, I threw all the Rexes out to get them breeding. Alright, we have fertilized eggs. Tell me these work. Oh, it does. So, fiber and rare flowers. Okay. We're actually about to be producing kibble. I don't know that I've ever actually sat down and made kibble in my Ark career. This might be a first for Granty in like, I don't know, maybe 10,000 hours combined between Evolved, Ascended, and maybe when I used to play on Xbox like 10 years ago. Yes, I can make it. Okay. This is so good. I still wanted to get an oviraptor as well to automate the egg collection from the Rexes. So I grabbed the female argy, then threw it out to breed with my male, and I took the fertilized egg as well as a Rex egg to go out and actually tame one. I think back over towards Corinthos we go. Okay, I looked up the spawn map. They don't really spawn anywhere in particular. It's just over beaches is normal. On a side note, I came across a blue drop with a ring, and it might have actually topped the most useless drop that I've ever opened.
What the hell is even that?
Bro, what? A blue drop with a ring. 2 tintoberry seeds. That has to be a joke. That might be... No, that is the worst drop of all time. Oh, this is the first astral raptor that I was scared of. It's a level 20. I'm gonna kill it. And that'll give me like all the XP I need for the dragon horde chest. I first made quick work of the regular raptors in the area, and while doing so, I spotted an oviraptor. So I quickly bulleted it and knocked it out before pulling up to the astral raptor. Oh, I got a really good flak helmet. Okay. Well, I'm mad I got my canteen eaten, but that's a really good skin. Or a really good helmet. Anyways, the oviraptor ended up taming, so I cryoed it up and flew back home to deploy it below the Rexes. Enable mating. Yep, those two are mating now. Alright, in the meantime, while I'm waiting for Rex eggs, I want to get this dragon horde chest. It's just, what do I give 30,000 XP to? That's so much XP. I could give it to this other argy. This argy's my better argy. This guy should have a lot better weight after I give him levels. Yeah, holy levels. Wow. Okay. After leveling up the argy, I located the Ascendant Dragon Horde chest, and it was actually really close by, so I flew over to open it up. What you got for me? What? Dude, okay, if I was on a PvP server, I'd be losing it. 46 rockets? That's insane. While out and about in the desert, I decided to get some polymer from mantises for metal arrows. And I also looked through the skill tree milestones as I did complete the first mission from one of the rows. Loot 3 white drops, kill 5 of the following. I could probably loot 3 white drops pretty easily and get some more skills. Maybe get like an XP buff, that'd be even better. Let's craft myself more metal arrows. Oh, dude, I didn't even see this. 21 superior kibble. That's insane. I'm like the kibble final boss in this video, dude. Anywho, the oviraptor collected a few eggs by now, so I grabbed those and threw them into the cooker to make 3 exceptional kibble. So I now had enough of it to go out and tame my first high-level theory. Finally, man, this feels like it took forever. So anyways, I grabbed my narcotics, the trap, and headed out to look for one. I also need to knock out that Yudi, that 150 Yudi that I've got marked on the map. But the theory was my main priority right now. So I flew over to Corinthos, which was pretty much the only area where theories actually spawn. That taxpayer? Oh, did not say no. Alright, theories like to spawn in the woods. I'm in the woods. Where are the theories? The first theory I found wasn't hiding in the woods, however it was a level 130. And it's definitely not bad, but I wanted something just a bit higher. Especially since I spent all the time cooking up the most exquisite of meals for these tickle chickens. Level 20 Astroloraptor. Whoa, is this a Medusa shrine? That's terrifying. Anyway, since I didn't find any other theories, I decided to go and tame that 130 that I saw. Ooh, I just ate a rare flower on accident. Alright, chill, dog. After placing the double door frames down on the trap, I shot the theory and let it in so I could close it off and get to trinking it out. Oh, wow. 190 melee. That is awful. Yeah, this theory had a very slim chance, if any chance at all, of coming out as a good fighter. But I still wanted to see how effective the kibble would actually be. So I left one in its inventory and waited until the theory downed it whole. When are you gonna eat it? Ooh, yeah, no, these kibbles are very good. So to tame like a 145, it'll probably take 3 or 4. The trap got damaged in the process, so I quickly farmed up a few resources to repair it and pick it back up. And I did leave a couple of kibble in the theory for it to finish taming since I did already invest one. But off to look for more oversized chickens I went. Oh, hello. These be good. Bruh. Unfortunately, I didn't even find any other theories before the 130 finished taming, so I killed this one low-level roaming the area before checking out its stats. Yeah, it's terrible, just as I suspected. That being said, the search had to continue into day 27, and it didn't take me too long to actually find exactly what I've been looking for. Oh, dude, a 150. Is it stuck? I think it's stuck between the rock and the tree. I think it is. No way. Okay, if I stay far enough... It's not stuck. I tried assembling the trap, but one of my foundations got consumed by the back rooms, so I just started shooting the theory from a safe distance. How did it not just completely clock me out of existence? I may have spoken a bit too soon though, as the Theory's AI immediately figured out how to get up to me, so I had to relocate once again. Oh, it can't hit me right here. This is my chance to hit headshots. Got it. Please be good. Doesn't look very good, man. I fed it the kibble regardless and headed back home to cook up more. My plan here was to just tame as many high levels as possible, and then choose the ones with the best stats to be bred for an army. Astral Argy, hold up, I'll kill that. Back at the crib, I grabbed the Rex eggs my Oviraptor was holding onto and turned them into chicken food before restocking on trank darts. And I waited around for a little bit so I could cook up at least 4 kibble before heading back to the sleeping Theory. Oh, the Theory tamed. Time to go back to it. Alright, what are your stats looking like? Please be good. Yeah, 16,000 food. I think that says all you need to know. Pretty bad Theory. Whatever, man. There should be more Theories on the map. I've got more kibble. Let's keep taming. A lot of bosses to kill, so I need to make sure I tame the best Theories that I can. Whoa, what is this? I flew down into this ominous hole in the ocean to see what was down here, but it looked to be pretty dead except for this one Carcinos that I saw. Getting out of here was a slight challenge with my maguana though, but I channeled my inner parkour to escape and continue my Theory search. Oh, I made it out, wow. And on day 28, I found another high level chicken, so I got to it. Okay, yeah, this one looks better off the bat. While this Theory took the nap of its lifetime, I continued exploring the map and I could even see the island that was not yet added in this update. But it is eventually going to be released in the last update. Yeah, okay, this is the island that hasn't been added quite yet. Can you get there? Oh, what? No, there's a warp border. What is that? What's that falling from the sky? An OSD? What? Those are on this map? That's insane. Anywho, I made it back home in time for another 2 Rex eggs ready to be turned into food. And on my way back, I stopped by a yellow drop that hooked me up with a really nice pair of flak leggings. Oh, holy flak leggings, dude. I was slowly but surely acquiring a very strong set of armor for the bosses. I really just needed a pair of boots and some gauntlets, as those were the only primitive flak pieces that I had on me now. Anyways, by the time I arrived at the Theory, it had finished taming, so I peeped the stats again and it actually had a very good health stat. But that's not good melee. I did go out to look for more Theories, but a red drop distracted me on the way and the loot inside did not disappoint. Ooh, I don't know, man, that might be all the Theories I'm taming. I don't know if I can bring myself to search anymore. What level is this guy? 90, I might kill it. I can get a Dragon Horde chest. I took a bit of a beating from the Astral Raptor this time, but I tanked through it with my armor and managed to kill it for the XP. Then back at base, I checked out the 2 Theories and they actually had the same exact melee stat, but the male did have a higher health stat. So I threw them both out to breed so I could raise and imprint the Theory and give it the 30,000 XP from my drakeling, then go out and retrieve the Dragon Horde chest. Holy triplets, please be good. They got the bad health. Okay. Anyways, I waited for another egg, and this time I actually got the perfect baby chicken, a female with a high health and melee. And after getting the imprint on it, the health jumped up to 9600 with the melee at 430. Alright, need this thing to grow up. So of course, I stared at the Theory throughout its entire maturation progress until it fully grew up. I then gave it the XP from my drakeling, giving it a whopping 60 levels. So I pumped up its HP to 30,000 and its melee to just over 1100. Okay, so after leveling, I don't know if I said, this is what the Theory stats are looking like. Very strong Theories. So that's definitely nice. Let's go get this Dragon Horde key now as well, since we put the XP away. What you got for me? So, a nice sickle, more superior kibble, Italian soup, some darts, goo gun. I don't really know or care what that does. Anywho, I flew back home and moved the 2 Theories closer to my Oviraptor so I could get started with raising my army. Alright, we got another female boss Theory raising up. I'll have those breeding too. And it's kind of nice. We can use these Rex eggs for leveling, I guess. I'm running out of storage. I want to make vaults, or a vault at least. What do I need for that? I could craft 1 vault with the resources that I had, however, I would be pretty much all out of oil. So I grabbed some metal from my forges regardless and then crafted it. Alright, where do I want this? That's the question. Kinda running out of space, not gonna lie to you. I don't know. Maybe I can squeeze one back here. I picked the chemistry bench up as well so I could place down the vault. Okay, I mean, it's not the best placement, but it works. With the storage situation sorted, I actually headed back out to the red obelisk to see all the bosses I would have to take down, as I know there's a lot of them, so I really do need to plan on getting started on some of those soon. So as I said, there's a lot of bosses that I do need to defeat, bosses and mini bosses. So we're first gonna target them all on Gamma, and then we'll just see what difficulties I'm able to progress to. Okay, so these are the bosses. Oh, I forgot. I need to get Wyverns as well for the manticore. All right. I gotta look up where some artifact locations are. I headed back to base to do some quick research, but I then flew back to the red obelisk again to take screenshots of all the different boss requirements. Okay, so I need to tame a Desmodus so I can knock out that Yudi effectively. So I need to farm up blood bags. Desmos are genuinely really good tames for taming other creatures, as not only can you shoot tranks off the back of one, but you can also farm blood packs from wild creatures. And then you can turn those into sanguine elixir, which gives whatever dino you're trying to tame an extra 30% boost to taming progress. So that being said, I extracted 15 blood packs for myself before grabbing a bunch of narco berries and tinto berries from my Procoptodon to cook up some medical brews. I also stopped by a yellow drop that was coming down nearby, and inside I found a whole behemoth gate and gateway. After a little bit of lawn mowing on day 31, I got back on the blood pack grind. Alright, this should be enough for like one high level Desmo. They make a saddle. Alright, I'm pretty sure there's a cave just out here in the desert somewhere, and I don't know, it should have all the Desmodus in it that I need. This might be it. Maybe not. This might be the Minotaur cave. Oh, okay, no, this is the Minotaur cave where you do the Minotaurcos mini boss. It's kind of like a puzzle cave. That being said, I had to do a little bit of exploring around the desert to find the cave I was actually looking for. Oh, here it is, okay. There were a couple of mantises that greeted me near the entrance, and as they tried to jump at me, they ended up leaping straight off into the endless void down below. That floor is looking like instant death. Do not want to fall down there. I think this cave has like 1 or 2 artifacts in it as well. And I need pretty much every artifact on the map since I'm doing all the bosses. I gotta keep my eyes open. Speaking of, I ended up jumping my way over to one of the artifacts straight away. Artifact of the Crag. Well, that's nice to have, but like, where's the Desmodus I was promised? Alright, this is looking like uncharted territory. I had a quick look into the water as well before concluding that I was lost and I just needed to do some more research. Okay, I think I'm actually in the wrong cave for Desmodus, but I am in the right cave for another artifact. I think it's back in here, right? Yeah, you can go this way. There it is. Yeah, it's right there. So those are 2 relatively easy artifacts. On that note, I exited the cave, and I actually flew out to the correct cave this time with the Desmos. Oh, yeah, here they are. 15. Oh, 145 right there. I might be able to shoot these guys and then lead them out of the cave. I pulled out my long neck and shot a dart at the 145 bat, and sure enough, they all followed me out of the cave. So I did a quick loop around the area to lose their aggro before landing and spotting the 145 again. And then I took out the weaker ones with my bow. There it is, okay. Oh, where are you going, dude? Oh, where's he going? Oh, he's fighting a vulture. I mean, surely he wins, right? Yeah. Once it was done dogfighting the vulture, I jumped to it with my maguana and got its attention so it could fly down and pick me up. Alright, perfect. Now, I did plan on only taming 1 Desmo, but seeing I still had plenty of blood packs left over, I decided to cryo up my maguana and head back into the cave to look for a breeding partner. I also gave it the few levels my drakeling has been holding on to, and soon enough, I found a level 135 male Desmo in the cave as well. I've got an idea. This could go poorly. I'm gonna enable slow fall on my drakeling. How does this work? Alright, that should prevent me from fall damage where possible. I'm gonna cryo this guy, and then I'm just gonna try and take out all these bad levels before the 135 gets to me. So I need... Oh, there's a male 145 too. Yeah, on second thought, maybe that idea wasn't gonna work. So I threw my bat back out and shot the Desmos to get their attention so I could drag them out of the cave like last time. And on day 32, I singled it out from the rest so I could let it pick me up and get tamed. This guy's trying to hit me. Alright, pick me up. Nice, man. That was pretty easy. And this drakeling's nice, dude. You don't even need a parachute if you got one of these on your shoulder. Like, I think you fall slow enough, right? Yeah. Alright, back to base we go. Let's breed these guys up. I put one of the artifacts up for display on the one pedestal that I had. However, I did want to display all of my artifacts, so I'm gonna have to go out and get some more and farm obsidian soon. But first, I had to get the baby Desmo raising, so I did some chores around the base in the meantime. I get so much use out of this compound bow, man. It's so good. Need myself more arrows already. Ugly little thing. Stats look fine. Alright, that thing's raising. Let's go get obsidian for more artifact pedestals. Just to have around the base. I flew up to a mountain that I thought would have obsidian on the top, but I didn't find any. Instead, I spotted something else of interest not too far away from me. Is that a wyvern scar? Hold up. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this is where I'll get my wyverns, I think. Speaking of future tames, I actually spotted a level 145 UD right here in the desert, so I wouldn't have to go fully across the map to that 150. Finally, obsidian. And probably craft the artifact pedestals in the RG. So it acts as a smithy, right? Yeah. So I farmed up a total of 7 extra pedestals and flew back home to sprinkle them around base. Okay, my imprinted Desmo is fully raised up. Just need to get some levels into it. Let me just go kill an alpha or something, then I'll transfer XP into it. I think I saw one back this way. And then we'll probably go knock out that UD. Yeah, surely I can kill this. Oh, the drakeling killed it. Okay. Alright. Transfer this XP. Yeah, very strong bat. Okay. I opted on to go out and kill something real quick, as Desmos can heal really quickly off of wild creatures and blood packs. This thing's like really strong. Okay. Anyway, we finally have a good Desmo now. I'd like to heal it up a little bit more. Let's get this dragon horde thing. Yeah, anyway, we'll get this key and then we'll go knock out that 145 UD. Because I can shoot off the back, so I can just hover above it. Hopefully I don't get fear roared, but if I do, I'll just be flying around above it. After grabbing the chest, I killed another Morellatops for blood packs, and I actually spotted a level 150 astral argy. So I pulled out my compound bow on the back of the bat and got to taking it down. Yeah, dude, that just capped out my XP immediately. Now I got 30,000 XP that I'll probably just give to a Theory, one of my boss Theories. Anyway, we'll do that later. Where's this UD at? I did get fear roared a few times, but I was a safe distance away from harm's way since I was in the air. There we go. With the big furry chicken knocked out, I cleared the area of any unwanted spectators and flew back to base to fill up my chemistry bench with their remains. Those being the spoiled meat that Desmos are so good at harvesting. Alright, let's put these bats away that I'm not using. Okay. Yeah, let me just give all my levels to this Theory, and we're gonna get another dragon horde. Very strong Theories. I flew out to the dragon horde chest and I found a whole 30 exceptional kibble inside, as well as a ton of trank arrows and a couple of ascendant saddles. Nice, man. Oh my, dude, my life, I just had a heart attack. Oh wow, those guys hit hard. Okay, I don't understand how they work. I'm not gonna figure that out right now because my heart beat is at like 200 beats a minute. Anywho, I flew around the desert in search of sheep since I really didn't want to tame the UD off of just prime meat. This looks like prime real estate where an Ovis would spawn. This also looks like prime real estate where an Ovis would be spawn killed. So, oh, hello there. With that sorted, I flew back home to sort out some of my stuff before returning to the sleeping UD to get it tamed up. I mean, yeah, mutton is basically kibble. Alright, UD's tamed. Nice. That's good to have. Back at the crib, I stored some of my mutton away into the fridge for later, and seeing as it was almost full, I decided to craft a second one. Nice. I love being rich. I filled it up to the brim with mutton, and the rest I threw on the grill to cook. Okay, man, I think we should start mass hatching Theories as well here. I'm not gonna focus on wyverns until later on. The manticore is a pretty easy boss. Maybe let's make up a feeding trough or two. And then yeah, I've got so many eggs. I grabbed some raw metal from my forge to make the trough and then placed it in the middle of my real estate. After filling up the trough with berries, I cryoed and moved some of my tames to make space for the hatching of my chicken army. Whoa, why does this guy got a cracked hatchet on him? Anyways, I grabbed the first batch of eggs and the raising could commence. Regular kibble? I might have that. Okay, I do not have regular kibble. Okay, I do have simple. Low key? Hold up. I might be able to make like the regular kibble. Cause you know I'm balling like that. Upon closer inspection of the recipe, I realized that I needed regular dino eggs, which I didn't have. So unfortunately, this Theory wouldn't be fit to fight along the other imprinted Theories. So sorry, bro. How many Theories is that? 5, 8, 10, 12? Okay. Only need to raise up a few more. And if you are wondering, my breeding and raising settings are in the description. It'll tell you like how to get max imprint on the first try and everything. I don't know. Just waiting for things to raise and just waiting hours, that's just not for me. That's just not how I like to play the game. It's not like It's not how I like to make these videos. There's just no point, so I like them to raise super quick. Alright, that's really all the theories I need raised up, which is good. Well, they're not raised, but they're growing. They're, wow, shredding through berries. I threw the Yudi out as well to give it the few levels it got while in hibernation, but it obviously needed a bunch more, so I headed out on my maguana to look for some Astraeos to take down. And I did stop by the desert to kill a mantis or two since my ghillie chest piece was looking pretty rough. And of course, you repair ghillie by having organic polymer, hide, and fiber. Oh! Really, dude? Alright, chest piece repaired. Let's make some more arrows to hunt down Astraeos. There's a scorpion king, or queen. I gotta kill this. I don't think I have... I think my Theory army should be able to kill it once it's grown up, but it's not grown up. Oh, Oasis-or. I didn't know those were on this map. Is this another cave? What is this? Oh, it's like a memorial hall. So Nakatis, who makes... or made Astraeos. This is sick. Anywho, there was an Astral Raptor, and it was a decently high level, so I had to be strategic about killing this one. There's like half the XP I need. Such a good way to like level up creatures, dude. It's a lot more fun than killing baby dinos, that's for sure. On day 35, I packed up another Astral Raptor, and this one actually dropped a really good blueprint that I could use later on. Oh, flak chest piece blueprint, nice. That's actually solid. Whoa, what is this? Pyramid with an implant? What is this? It's like a drawing? Are these people who made the map? This is sick. Oh, this must just be like fan art of Astraeos or something. This is super cool. Wow, whoever made that, that's awesome. Eventually, I came across another Astral Raptor, and after killing that one, I had the whole 30,000 XP in my drakeling. So I headed back home and gave it to the Yudi. Wow, okay, these all grew up. Wow, this Yudi's crazy. Nearly 50,000 health on it. I flew down to grab the Dragon Horde chest as well, and this one might have just topped all the other ones that I've opened combined. Oh, no way. Yes, dude. Okay, this is the best kibble in the game. That's such a clutch find. Dude, just farming Dragon Hordes is the best way to get kibble in the game. Since the Theories were all grown up, I wanted to cryo them as they did heal and gain XP faster when they're in the cryopod. Unfortunately though, I didn't have enough cryopods to store all of them, so I had to go out and farm some more oil in order to craft more. I then made my way over to the green obelisk to craft the cryopods, and I also killed an Astral Carno that I spotted nearby. Ooh, flak boots. Wow, I've nearly got a full set of good armor. When I arrived back at base, I stuffed more of my Theories into cryos, and I looked into the industrial cooker to see the recipe for veggie cakes, since I'm definitely gonna need to cook up a bunch of those for healing the Theories for the upcoming boss fights. Okay, I'm gonna need to set up sap taps. And honey. Honey is going to be an issue. I unlocked the stone tree platform as well as the sap tap engrams and threw my Dodec out to farm some stone since I needed that for cementing paste as well as the platform itself. I also went out to stock up on wood with my chainsaw. And I ended up completing a mission from the Lost Colony milestones. So I looked through the other ones as well to see that I just needed to harvest more thatch and craft a few wooden structures to get 3 extra skill points, so I got to work on that. Should get this completed here. Okay. What do I want? Oh, this experience killer. I could get like plus 30% XP. That would be really good, especially for the drakeling. Looking through the other options available to me, it looked like a pretty obvious choice, so I dumped all 3 of my skill points into the experience killer. Anywho, I crafted the 2 tree platforms and 5 more sap taps before doing a little bit of research as to where I could actually place all of this down. So it turns out I should have done some research before assembling all this stuff, because I happened to look up, where are the redwood trees on Ark Astraeos, and to my knowledge, there aren't any. No trees I can plug sap taps into, no trees I can place platforms on. It's a pretty dumb move from me, but I did figure out how to actually get sap. So I wasted a bunch of resources, but it'll be alright. Anyways, there's just little trees that you can harvest with a chainsaw, and apparently that is the best way to get sap. So I'm gonna bring this Theory. This was my chainsaw, and we're just gonna test which is better. The trees are over on Corinthos, so I've got to head out over there. I think this is where I need to be. Yeah, kind of like these. So these look like redwood trees, obviously not the big ones. And the fact that I got swarmed by buggy boys and pegos also reinforces the fact that this spot somewhat resembles the redwoods, since basically everything in the redwoods is actually hostile. This place is insanely dangerous. Okay, yeah, this has to be the redwoods. There's like terror birds and... whoa. Okay, that guy scared me. Abominations here. I tested the chainsaw on the trees first, but I wasn't getting any sap from them, so I tried the theory too, but also to no avail. Okay, what? Is this YouTube tutorial just straight line? Okay, I should have scrolled down into the comments. There's a comment from 1 day ago. I guess they changed something in the update. Yeah, there's no more sap here. I'm wondering, so I think on Scorched Earth, there's those trees that give sap. So let's head back out to Pyrinthos. See what we can get. But I cut the journey short when I spotted an astral argy, which I packed up in just 3 shots. Okay, this XP boost I got, it's really nice. Like, would any of these trees give sap? No. Okay, where do you get sap? Alright, nothing's given sap. What gives? So the research had to continue into day 37. Alright, I have one more hope to get sap on this map. And basically, I was told that it's kind of up in the snowy area and some pine trees might drop it. So I'm gonna head up there. I think I might just teleport because I ain't flying across the map like that. When I arrived at the snowy part of the map, I tried a few different trees, but none of them gave me sap. So I teleported over to another part of the map, then tried to take down a couple of trees, but I still left empty-handed. At the very least, I robbed a beaver dam of all its paste and pearls, but I could not find a single drop of sap anywhere. So I returned back to my base to do some pondering. And while doing that, I applied a skin to my chemistry bench, which fit the whole theme of my base. So in Wildcard's Infinite Wisdom, or I don't know, maybe it's Nakatis. I don't know. I'm not really mad, but I'm pretty sure they accidentally patched sap, like being able to get sap out of the game, which is kind of funny. Not really. I need it. Anyway, but I was looking through my chest and I do have some sap here, so I'm pretty sure off the top of my head you can get sap from blue drops, I want to say. So I'm going to look at the loot tables. I might just have to start farming blue drops or any drops that give sap, which is not good. I wonder if the Dragon Horde chest can give sap at all. Yeah, but anyways, that really does throw a wrench into my plans because I need a lot of veggie cakes for my army. That being said, I had to get on the drop grind to see how viable the strategy actually was. The first couple of blue drops may have not had any sap inside, but at least I got this really nice ascended sickle. I spent the entirety of day 38 flying around and grabbing all the drops I came across, but not a single one of them had sap inside. Wow, those are good boots. Okay, I've just been flying around trying to get loot drops to look for sap, and I haven't been able to get any. If you saw in my chest back home, I do have some sap. It's just I don't know where I got it from. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they like accidentally patched sap out of the game, which is not good at all. Not good. Anyways, I flew back to base and cleared my inventory of all the loot that I got before throwing my theories out to level up their HP a bit so they could all get back to healing. And then I should also give one of them some Dragon Horde XP. Alright, now they're all out, leveled up. Back into cryo they go to heal. I almost feel like they heal faster in cryo. Okay, well I do want to go out and test out this theory. I want to try and take down my first boss slash mini boss, I guess. I'll also open up this Dragon Horde chest. But the mini boss that I want to take down is Scorpion King slash Queen that just spawn out in the desert. Oh wow, that drop was so good. Dude, those cakes. Okay, well this might be how I'm farming cakes that I need. After a pull like that, I had to go back home and throw the cakes into the fridge. Well, I might just be farming like infinite Dragon Horde chests, man. That might be my way to get cakes. Anywho, I returned to the desert to look for that Scorpion Queen that I saw earlier. And once I spotted her, I saw that she was only level 50. So I threw out my boss theory, cryoed the maguana, and rushed straight into it as I was really not too worried about dying on this tickle chicken. 29 damage. Yeah, this is no issue. And it's not really doing any torpor. Oh, they give a ton of XP. Okay. So you get nameless venom. I know there's rock drakes on this map, but there's not, I don't really see a point to getting rock drakes. But anyways, that's our first mini boss taken down. Nice. And we tested the theories. These are very strong. Now, one thing I needed to find was either a theory saddle blueprint or just straight up crafted theory saddles. There was a chance I could get them in drops and Dragon Horde chests, but another thing that I now knew of that was actually on this map were OSDs over on the Lava Island. Another veggie cake, dude. keep stacking them up, man. With that being said though, I pulled up a spawn map for gigas and karkars and headed out to try and find a high level so I could actually do those OSDs. I did plan on taming a giga or karkar regardless though, since there are still a few bosses and or mini bosses left that I can kill in the open world. Oh, there's one right here. Oh, female 140. Okay, well, turning right back around, going to base and getting the stuff I need to tame this. Do I need to make a trap for it? Like, I have a Desmo I can shoot off the back of. Back at the crib, I queued up a bunch of trank darts and narcotics, and while those were cooking, I did a little bit of lawn mowing on the back of my Procoptodon. I think I will end up making myself a trap just to save myself a headache, dude. Gigas also like exceptional kibble, so I grabbed a bunch of that and crowded my Desmo before heading out to get some polymer for more metal arrows. And speaking of metal, my forges were actually running pretty dry, meaning a metal run was bound to happen sooner rather than later. Alright, I think I'm ready to go tame this thing, or attempt to tame it. Let's do it. Alright, I am definitely hitting relog. I am not taming a giga in all this fog. This is insane. After casting the unbreakable spell known as loading in and out of the game, I flew over to the giga, and then switched over to my Desmo since it already aggroed onto me, and I needed to be quick about setting up the trap. With the trap all set up and ready, I politely nudged the giga and led it into the bear trap before locking it in from behind. I think I got it early. Ideally, I would like to find a male giga as well. Get an imprinted one, that would be insane. Oh, I shot it on the way down, no. I killed the gang of aloes that pulled up halfway through the tranking process, and I fed the giga a bunch of narcotics as well as the kibble. Hold up, let me get some sanguine elixir to help this tame. I farmed up a bunch of blood packs off this unfortunate diplo, and with the elixir made, I flew back to the giga. 150 Rex. I might have to knock that out. The elixir saved me one piece of kibble, and soon enough the giga woke up with 195 melee. I think that's actually pretty buns. Back at the crib on day 41, I queued up more narcotics and trank darts as I wanted to continue looking for high level gigas to tame, primarily a male to have a breeding pair. I also had to go out on a little bit of a farming run with my Anki and Argy though to get more spark powder and gunpowder crafting. Alright, as I said, I want to go and try and tame a male giga as well. I guess it doesn't have to be super good, but if it was a good level, that'd be nice. In the meantime, though, I definitely need to do another metal run. That being said, I picked up my Anki again, and we flew out to gather a bunch of that. Man, where all the metal at? Oh, I found it. Just literally at the back of the desert. With a very decent amount farmed, I flew back home to distribute it all into the forges. And I grabbed one of my theories to farm up the wood for them as well. Alright. Forges are lit. And on day 42, I grabbed my theory to go out into the desert as another scorpion queen had spawned, and that was basically just free XP at this point. As I was leaving, I spotted yet another queen as well, so I handled that before finally heading back home and getting ready to go back out to tame those gigas. I'm gonna use these shocking darts this time. Let's go look for another giga. I think there's a lot of spawns on this map, so I shouldn't struggle to find one. I of course opened any drops that crossed my path as I was still in need of theory saddles or a whole blueprint for that matter. Oh, theory saddle blueprint. Wow. That's so expensive. Oh, that's so pricey. Like, I can do the wood, I can do the fiber. We could probably get an indie forge and do the metal. It's just the hide. I need to find, like, an insane way of farming hide. Oh, that's such a good pool, though. Like, I need to make this. What? 177 armor? I get crafting bonus? Would be insane. Like, I swear we could roll on alpha, especially if I can manage to get some more cakes. But my luck did not run out just yet, as the first giga I came across was a level 135 male, exactly what I was after. Wow, okay. Dude, Astraeos is my favorite map, it's blessing me. Anywho, I cleared the area of any living distractions for the giga before introducing myself and kiting it into the trap on the first try, of course. Oh, what? Thankfully, the giga then followed me into the trap on the first try. Got it? Got it. Oh, bang, it's already out. I fed it a bunch of narcotics before hopping on my bat as an astral raptor was slowly creeping towards me, so I had to take care of it. I also crafted the sanguine elixir for the giga to boost the taming progression. Dang, 235 melee. Okay, that's way better than my other one. Nice. On that note, I headed right back to base to get my inventory sorted and the 2 gigas breeding. In the meantime, I crafted a giga saddle, and once the egg dropped, I brought it over to the hatchery to get it incubated. Seeing it would take around 18 minutes to pop, I looked into the Ingram page and I unlocked the egg incubator, so I wouldn't have to worry about leaving base and forgetting about the egg. I just needed a bit of polymer to craft it, so I headed down into the desert to take out a few mantises. Like, I'm gonna need an egg incubator for wyverns anyway. Those take a while to hatch. Might as well just get one so I don't have to worry about them hatching when I'm not there. There was another giga egg laying around on the ground by the time I got this incubator set up. So I brought that in to hatch up as well, and soon the first egg was ready to pop. Please be good, bruh. On a side note, I unlocked and crafted a UD saddle as well, and I brought a third giga egg into the hatchery. While waiting for the eggs to be ready to pop, I ventured down into the desert in search of astrals. I wanted to get another dragon horde chest as well as just maxing out my drakeling's XP bar. What? An astral queen. Oh. Okay, as soon as I raise a giga, I'm coming back to kill that. That's insane. That thing probably maxes out your XP immediately. I did find an astral RG too, but it was a level 140. So I wanted to keep that alive for later since that would also give me way more XP than I actually need right now. Anyways, the second giga was now ready to hatch, but it also came out with the bad melee, so unfortunately it had to join its brother in the afterlife. On day 44, I found a low-level astral RG in the desert, so I packed that up to fill up the drakeling's XP bar. Then when I returned, I hatched a third giga egg, and this one finally had the good melee stat, so I just had to imprint it and wait for it to fully grow up so I could take it out on that astral scorpion queen. Wow, okay, this thing's gonna take a while to grow up. Oh, yeah, those stats look way better. Snow owls aren't on this map, are they? Snow owls do spawn on this map? Okay, I just looked up the dino finder thingy, or the spawn map, I should say, on Google. Okay, they do spawn. They spawn up in Lemnakis. Okay, I'm definitely going to tame one. Hold up. I'll just take my Desmodus, make it easy. After teleporting to Lemnakis, I soon found a level 50 snow owl, which is usually a pretty buns level to go for. But since I didn't need it for anything other than healing, I decided just to tame it regardless. I then sourced a little bit of prime meat from a nearby baby mammoth, and the owl tamed up instantly, probably because it was a level 50. I mean, it's not good at all, but whatever, it's a snow owl. Can use it to heal a bit if I put some levels into it. When I returned back home, I unlocked and crafted a saddle for the new snow owl, and I then gave the XP from my drakeling to one of my boss Theres. And after that, I went out to get another dragon horde chest. Oh, behemoth gate, metal behemoth gate? Demolish that for a lot of resources. Ooh, a Daedon saddle. Since I got that saddle, I decided I wanted to tame a Daedon as well, so I grabbed a few structures that I had lying around and headed right out to find one. You know what? I bet I'll have more luck finding Daedons up where I saw that 150 UD in like that tundra area. Oh wait, hold up. Level 20. I'm going up to the tundra. I'm not taming no level 20 Daedon. Hello. 140. With the pig knocked out, I quickly snagged some prime meat from a corpse nearby and fed it both kibble and the meat. Dang. After this quick little side quest, I packed up the trap, teleported back to the desert, and returned home to give the Daedon some levels for my drakeling. Flying into the desert, I saw another scorpion queen, but I didn't have my Theory on me, so I had to go back home. And by the time I arrived, the giga had fully raised by now, so I saddled it up before going out to kill that queen. I then gave all the XP to my Daedon so I could pump all the points into its food stats so it's a lot better at healing. On day 46, I headed out to retrieve the Dragon Horde chest, but the loot inside was kinda mid since I didn't fill the Drakeling's XP bar all the way up. Anyways, when I returned back home, I brought the Giga out for a test drive, but I first had to heal it up a bit with the pig. This pig's actually doing really well at healing this. It did come at a cost though, and that of course was food. With the constant healing, the Daedon absolutely shredded through the meat that I had, so I had to go out and gather more with my bat. Alright, this thing's pretty much healed up. I'm gonna give it what XP that I can, and I think we're gonna go straight and just try and kill that astral alpha scorpion thing. I don't know, I forget what it's called. That being said, I pulled up and threw out my Giga to test just how badly I was gonna mop the floor with it. Oh, 2k damage a bite, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, okay, yeah, that was easy. Holy loot, dog. Holy melee on this thing. Wow. this thing's going to be insane. 4k damage a bite. Yeah, I think I can definitely do an OST if I come across one. That being said, I returned back home and quickly sorted out my inventory, and then crowded up my argys since OSTs give a lot of loot, so I'd probably need all the carry weight that I could get. I then flew out to the lava island to do a quick lap around it, but I didn't see any OSDs. I did, however, check inside the big volcano, and I came across black pearls that I could just pick up off the ground. Are these black pearls? Ooh. Oh, I should get a Grand Tortuga and harvest these. If I can get tech, I'm not gonna lie, I would like to get tech. Anywho, on day 47, I killed an astral raptor and I got a nice ascendant chest piece from it, so I finally replaced my ghillie with flak. Alright, well there's literally no OSCs. Back at base, I grabbed all of my boss theories and threw them out again to level up their health so they could continue healing and hibernation. Alright, I need to start leveling my theories as well to melee. Like, it's day 47, we're almost halfway done, and I have a lot of bosses to kill. So let's just, I've got a bunch of Rex eggs, let's just start leveling. Unfortunately, the Dragon Horde chest spawned on the complete opposite side of the map, but I wasn't about to pass up on ascendant loot, so of course I hopped on my maguana and traveled right over. Is it outside of the map? Bro, it's literally in the back corner of the map. Crossbow. On my way back to base, I flew around the lava island and I actually found an OSD, but since it was legendary difficulty, I had to leave it be. You can't do these solo, you need a few people because there's that many corrupted creatures coming at you at once. On day 48, after a quick stop at base to make grapples and repair my armor, I ventured back over to the lava island and I mauled up an astral argy with my giga for experience. I then gave that XP to another boss theory and I collected the Dragon Horde chest. I also collected a few drops that were coming down in the area, and there was a purple drop with a ring, and inside I found a little bit of sap. Oh, sap, nice. Purple drops. Purple drops with rings give sap. Anywho, the leveling had to continue, so I flew back to the lava island and killed yet another astral argy. Too easy, dude. I'm just power leveling like all my theories just by this. I gotta check all these purple drops now, man. Now that I know that they're the ones dropping sap for me. But the red ones weren't off the list either, of course, and I actually ended up finding another theory saddle blueprint. This one was a lot weaker in terms of armor, but much more manageable in the resource department. Less than 300 metal. Okay, it's actually pretty cheap. I might do my first few initial bosses with this theory saddle. Anyways, back to leveling up the theories. I gave one of the boss fighters XP for my drakeling and flew out to retrieve the Dragon Horde chest. And I got blessed again as I got a whole 21 mind wipe tonics. This means I no longer have to worry about cooking up any of those for when I finally want to craft those saddle blueprints. Okay, dude, let's have a look at this saddle. So, ingots, wood. The fiber and wood is super easy. It's just the ingots, the hides, kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie to you. Speaking of ingots, my forges weren't cooking anymore as they ran out of wood, but some of them still had plenty of raw metal inside. So I went out to refuel them quickly. Bro, let me craft one of these. I'm only crafting one saddle. Normally I just wouldn't pump crafting bonus into it, but I have 49 mind wipes, so might as well make this the best it can be. Now, for some odd reason, my crafting skill was going up by 100 every time that I put a level into it. I haven't changed any of my settings. I don't even know how to change the crafting skill setting, but the default value should just go up by 10. So anyways, I left it at 1400, which, you know, should be normal when you put all your points in the crafting skill. And I crafted one of the saddles before finally drinking another mind wipe and setting my stats back to normal. And with that, I quickly farmed the more wood that I needed, refueled the forges, and got them cooking again. I also crafted another smithy to place just outside, and this one I would use specifically to craft the saddle blueprints later on. So I threw fiber and metal into it for now. On day 50, I gathered more wood as well, some to store away for the saddles and some to throw into the forges, as I actually had to go out on another metal run since I would be needing a lot more ingots pretty soon. What also helped out a lot was this red drop with another metal behemoth gate inside and a whole ascendant pump shotgun with almost 300 damage. It's a nice drop, it's a nice shotgun. Back at the crib, I distributed all the metal into the forges, and I grabbed the other behemoth gate that I had so I could demolish them both for a ton of ingots. Alright, now we gotta start putting together a bunch of hide. I guess I'll stock up some more wood in this vault too. And then we'll probably just take, I don't know, the giga out. Maybe that theory, that'll farm hide well. And yeah, a bunch more metal smelting, which is always good. Fueling that addiction. Alright, I've got everything else Now it's time for the hide. I flew back to the lava island as that was just constantly swarming with all sorts of ops. And I threw out my giga quickly to deal with everything in my path. It'd really be nice to do an OSD right about now because then dinos would just be fed to me. They would just keep coming at me and I could just take the loot and the hide. I mean, this isn't too bad. This is definitely the island to do hide runs. There's just so many creatures. Like, holy Spinos, dude. Thought this guy was about to fall in the lava. Oh. With less than a fraction of my health left, I quickly chugged a few medical brews, and I also munched on some cooked meat, saving me from disaster. Anyways, I threw my giga out again and killed a bunch more critters for hide until an OSD dropped right beside me. Oh, Gamma. Might as well do it. That could have been bad if that hit me. That was really close. This is Gamma, so I think I might be a little over-prepared here with the giga doing 4,200 damage a bite. Whatever. Rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. I think I have enough hide for like, I don't know, 10 Theory saddles right now. Dude, farming those Ascended saddles is just out of the question. There's just no way. Okay, I defended it, so how is it gonna like give me my loot? Eject items. Just spawns them in. It doesn't shoot any doors off or anything. Bro, why is it just giving me stone? Wow, this was horrible. Yeah, the loot was just as good as you'd expect from a gamma drop. Anyways, I flew back to base and sorted out everything before throwing out another Theory to level it up with my drakeling. Alright, let's get some mind wipes and just craft all the saddles that I can here. Alright, for some reason my crafting skills like really bugging out. Like it's adding way too much. So I did the math and I would get about 1,000% crafting skill if it would level up like normally. So that's how much I'm gonna put in. I'm not gonna break the system or whatever. But anyway, let's start crafting these saddles that I can. I also had my Theory on standby below base to gather more fiber as I was bound to run out of it. I crafted 12 Theory saddles before I ran out of hide, so I drank the second Mind Wipe tonic and set my stats back to normal. So we got some Theory saddles. I ran out of hide, but these aren't bad. Let's go get this dragon horde thing, and then I'll go keep farming saddles. Oh, I got a bunch of metal arrows. That's nice. Flying back to the lava island, I came across an astral wreck, so I deployed the giga and made quick work of it before getting back to the hide grind. Oh, there's the King Titan. And him getting closer was my cue to leave, so I crowded the giga and threw my maguana out just for him to vanish into thin air like Houdini. Oh, did he just despawn? Without that threat present, I could continue to farm hide for a little bit, and when I eventually returned back to base, I gathered some fiber with the Theory and I got to making the last few saddles. Alright, I have all the Theory saddles I need. Let's get these boys and girls saddled up. They're like, I don't know, anywhere between 63 to almost 80 armor. It's pretty solid. Their stats are very good. I would feel a lot more comfortable if I had veggie cakes, but I can probably put some together. Anywho, after throwing out, saddling, and leveling all the chickens, I was left with 4 saddles, so I did a quick head count. How many Theories is that? 5, 10, that's 15. Am I missing some? One of the female boss Theories was the breeder, so I saddled that up and brought it over to the rest and leveled up another one with my drakeling. And the dragon horde chest appeared halfway across my map, but I flew over to check it out regardless. But boy was I happy with the loot that I found inside. Oh, holy compound bow and veggie. Oh, what is that? Holy dragon horde chest, man. Dude, 522 damage. This has 380, the one I've been using. Wow, that's insane. So after flying back to base on day 54, I looked through the levels on my Theories to see how many more I would actually need to level up. I think I've got like 7 or 8 Theories that need to be leveled. I've got this new compound bow, dude. I'm just gonna go around killing stuff and then give them the draconic XP. While I did want to test out the new compound bow, the first couple of astrals that I ran into on the lava island were Carnos, so I threw out my giga to kill those. But I eventually found an astral argy in the desert, so I promptly force-fed it a few metal arrows to its face. think I'll go up to the tundra, probably kill a bunch of astral mammoths. They were really common around this part of the map, and they were also really hard to miss considering, well, they're huge. And you could also say that just like your mom. Anyways, I also dropped an astral argy before the drakeling's XP was full again. So a quick pit stop back at base later, I could level up another theory. This time around, I used the teleport to get to the tundra quicker, and after killing an astral mammoth, I flew over to the dragon horde chest that I had. How is this ascendant but has 0.5 damage more than a primitive? Okay, that's insane. I think I've only got a few more theories left that I have to level. Okay, I think I leveled all of them. Oh wait, there's one more right here. With my army finally leveled up, I flew out to collect a couple of dragon horde chests that I was holding onto, and I actually got a really nice pair of flat gauntlets from the last one. Well, I finally completed like a good set of armor. Okay, so as I said, or I don't know if I said, I wanted to Medusa or Thodes the Widowmaker boss first. However, you need artifacts for them obviously, and then they both have one artifact that you need to summon them in a water cave, which is, you know, fantastic. That's exactly what every Ark player wants. Anyway, let's feed these theories, and then I could try and tame like strong water dinos, but I don't think that's the move. We're on day 57 here, and we're just, I don't know, we're just running out of time, I guess. I've got 7 more bosses to fight. Yeah. Anyways, so I think what I'm gonna do is, I think just breeding up a bunch of May wings. I think that's the best idea I got right now. So I'm gonna breed up a few May wings, and then we're just gonna go in with basically no kit, nothing. Just head on in. I'm gonna have multiple like sets ready to go, and we're just gonna try and like brute force it, since May wings are pretty quick underwater. So I pumped a bunch of health into them, as well as a bit of stamina, and I crafted 5 more saddles with the leftover hide that I had from crafting the theory saddles. Forges are running out of fuel here, but we have a bunch more metal, which is always nice. Anywho, while the 2 eggs were incubating, I flew down into the desert on my bat to get some more raw meat for the babies, and when I returned, they were ready to hatch. I got the imprint on both of the babies as well, and waited around for them to fully grow up. With another 2 maguanas on the way, I disabled mating on the parents and went out to get more food for them. And while they were growing, I dropped my kit off and crafted a few sets of scuba tanks and flippers. Alright, I want to go check out this first cave. Let's heal up these maguanas as well. Alright, I turned fog off so I'll be able to see underwater easier. Let's head out to the coordinates. I'm literally naked with food, a maguana, some scuba, and a dream. But like, the reason I'm fine with this is because look how quick the maguana is. Now, I'm fairly certain there are eels in the cave, which obviously most of you know stun you. So, yeah, man, like I'm just speed's the real key to success here, I guess. Once I arrived at the supposed cave entrance coordinates, I put the scuba on and dove down into the deeper ocean to find exactly where I needed to go. Oh, this isn't the cave I'm looking for, but this is cool. It's like a little air pocket down here. Okay, I think the coordinates of the guide I'm watching are not accurate anymore because the map's been expanded on, so it's bigger. But the entrance I'm looking for is like in these pillars type looking things. That being said, I had to do a little bit of exploring myself, but I ended up finding the entrance exactly where I started searching in the first place. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, the coordinates are accurate. I just missed it. Okay, let's speed through this. Okay, I've got no clue where this artifact is. Oh, there's air. There's air. Get me out of the water. Okay, there's normal cave creatures, and then it dips back into the water. Diving back in, there were 2 different ways I could go. So obviously, I went to the right because that's just the right way to go. Going to the right is always right. That's a moza. Why is there so many different ways to go? This is not good. Not good in the slightest. Where's the artifact? This looks like an artifact room, is it? It's just crystal? No way. This cave is super cool, but where's the artifact? No, wait, this is the cave of the artifact of the brute. I did, however, swim down into this back corner of the cave that actually led to a room with statues. This is definitely where the artifact is. I think it's just behind this wall that I have to break with a pickaxe or something that I don't have, so I gotta go all the way back out. So I tried my best to retrace my way back to the cave's entrance, but I wasn't too good at it since I appeared right back in the big room that I just left. Multiple times over. And I just did a circle. How am I doing circles? Dude, I'm just going in circles. Oh, found my way up. Thankfully, once I surfaced at this part of the cave, getting out was simple since I knew exactly which way I went the first time. So I made my way back to base and grabbed a new scuba tank as well as my pickaxe before heading back to the cave again. Then once back inside, I swam straight to the back of the cave and into the little room with the statues. And then of course I swung at the wall in the back, but it wasn't breaking for some reason. What? I swear the artifact's gotta be in here. Is there a button? I hit a quick relog which actually showed me the buttons that I had to press, as for some reason they didn't render in on the first time. Oh, okay. So there's these little torch pedestals you gotta light, but they don't spawn in when you first come in here, at least on single player, so I had to hit a relog. But I have the artifact. Let's get out of here. With that successful heist completed, I flew back home and I put the artifact of the brute up for display at my hatchery before re-kitting. Okay, so I believe the other two artifacts I need for am I saying his name right? I don't know. Surely I am. The other two artifacts I need are the Pack and Devourer, which I'm pretty sure are on land caves, so I'm just gonna fly over and bring my Desmodus in since these can fly in caves. And then I've got, like, everything I need on me, man. I've got a good kit. This compound bow can kill anything. That being said, I headed out to the first of the two caves, and the entrance to this one was pretty easy to find thanks to the inconspicuous ruins just outside. Okay. Think this is the cave. I threw my Desmo out and flew in hoping I could just fly past everything in the cave. But the creatures were up in the ceiling, so I decided to fight them before heading deeper into the cave. Holy man, good thing I brought a bat. After clearing this room I found myself in, I confirmed that the bat could in fact not continue with me since the doors were too slim for it to fit through. So I just had to pull out my compound bow and continue on foot. Those look like instant death spikes. I'm just gonna cryo my Desmo and then throw it out in here. After flying through that instant death spike of doom, I flew into the next room and cleared a few critters, and then went down a set of stairs which led me to a hallway with two possible routes. This time I went with the left, and I arrived at the artifact room, so I killed a few creatures protecting it before snagging the artifact of the Devourer and getting out of the cave. Alright, now that was easy. Let's go get the artifact of the Pack, which I think is on Lava Island. On that note, I made my way over there, and I quickly found the entrance just below the volcano. So I switched to my bat before going down into the depths of the cave. There were a lot more dangerous dinos below me, so flying through this cave instead of fighting all of that was definitely the move. Well, that was very easy. Oh, here's the man himself. Now I've got everything for the boss, really. Nice. That being said, when I returned back home, I grabbed the artifact of the brute and whistled all of my theories to follow me towards the red obelisk. It was really close by, so there's just no point in cryoing them. Okay, so here's my army. I really need to gate off this obelisk. This is just going to be annoying. Yeah, dude, let's gate off this obelisk before we move forward. I grabbed whatever gates I had at base and placed them around the obelisk staircases. But I did have to return back to base to farm up a few more since I really do want this thing fully encircled so I can do the fight in peace. Alright, I think I've got the obelisk blocked off. Surely stuff can't get over these little things, right? But before I could go in there was one more thing that I had to grab from my base, and that was my shotgun. Okay, so I think I'm all ready to fight the boss, and I've done some research, and apparently the boss is like a cyclops looking dude. So I think he's got one eye, and he doesn't take that much damage unless you shoot him in the eye, and then he starts taking more damage, is what I believe at least. So I'm gonna put all these theories on him, or make them unable to pick up resources, because they'll probably encumber themselves. I don't really know what the arena looks like. So after sorting through all the theories and making sure that resource gathering is disabled, I whistled them back into the middle of the platform and flew back home to grab a few veggie cakes. I'll bring 20. I mean, surely we steamroll the boss, dude. It's Gamma, right? Surely. But I know Astraeos bosses are kind of known for being very difficult, so that's unfortunate. Anywho, I didn't distribute all the cakes to each theory. Instead, I just gave 5 of them to 4 theories. I also made sure to set my UD to ignore group whistles before finally loading up the terminal and starting the boss fight. Thode's the Widowmaker. Okay. Alright, we're here. Oh, okay, he's over there, so I can get time to buff my boys. With the army buffed up, I sent them in to attack the giant troll. I then stood on top of my UD shooting at its face to try and hit its eye. Oh, he's taking like no damage, what? How much health does his eye have? We aren't doing any damage. Ow. Oh, I got it, I think I got it. Yes, okay, we're doing damage now. And now that he was actually taking proper damage, his health bar was dropping really quickly. It dropped to about half health before he became strong again, so I hopped off my UD and continued shooting at his head. Alright, now we're doing damage again. What if I just keep shooting its eye? Ow. It was left on literal life support when it regained its protection again, but it was too late as the Theries were just on him and they killed him even with the lower damage. Got it. Wow. I mean, yeah, dude, that was Gamma, but that wasn't super easy, man. Definitely good I brought the shotgun. 200 element for Gamma? That's crazy. What tech grams did I get? Really nothing. I checked on my Theries as well to see how much health they had lost, but they were all doing really solidly, so I really had nothing to worry about in these Gamma fights as long as I did a tiny bit of research about the boss's mechanics. Alright, now we're gonna go straight for Medusa. Let's go get the artifacts for that. Hold up, I'd like to put a boss trophy thing though. Unfortunately, the skins that I had on my structures made the trophy wall mount look out of place on the pillars. So I had to place them on the side of my home, right above the toilet. That thing is ugly. I also placed a couple of trophy mounts inside, and one on the greenhouse for Medusa and the other bosses that I was after. And speaking of Medusa, it was time to head out and retrieve her artifacts. So I crowded up my bat and flew out to the first cave over in Corinthos. Heading inside, I ran straight down a hall that led to a circular room with a big statue in the middle, and I soon found a somewhat hidden staircase that I had to go down. Oh. Going down a floor, I pressed a button which opened the door to this little room, and it had a couple of cave drops inside, so I checked out both of them but got absolutely nothing of value. Anywho, there was also a crack in the wall, but that only led to a tiny room with a tree in the middle, so I was a bit confused on where to go next. So a little bit of research later, I ran back into the room with the 2 drops and I found a door leading deeper into the cave. So I looked up a short video and it looks like I'm gonna need scuba, because once I figure out this puzzle, there's a water part. Okay, we're gonna have to head back to base. So after grabbing a ramshackle scuba tank and some flippers from my vault, I flew back to the cave and ran back down to the puzzle room. Lighting those 3 pedestals opened up this water part at the bottom, so I put on the scuba and I swam right to the end of the water cave where the artifact was waiting for me. Here we go. Bang. After exiting the cave, I flew straight over to the next one, also located here in Corinthos. This looks like a cave I can fly through. Ah, this is a huge cave. Whoa! What are those? Minotaurs? What? I'm fairly certain the artifact's supposed to be right here. These guys are not agrodesmos. I think the artifact's... Oh, it literally spawned as I looked away. As big and scary as the Minotaurs looked, they weren't exactly the brightest, as I could just lead them off the edge of this cliff straight down into water. I mean, sure enough, that was easy. Alright, now I just need one more drop that's, of course, in an underwater cave. This cave's sick, though. I already had everything I needed to explore the waters, though, so I made my way over to the cave and dove right in. Now, there was a nice big air pocket for me near the entrance to the cave, and I had to use it straight away as these waters were not exactly friendly. Whoa! Diving back in, I made my way over to the other land part of the cave, and there I opened up a yellow drop, and inside I found an insane ascended shotgun. Oh! Holy shotgun. There was a red cave drop at the bottom of the water as well, so I jumped in to retrieve that as well, not expecting the loot to get much better, but to my surprise, even better shotgun. What are these drops? 747% damage. 2 shotguns from this cave alone, and here's the artifact. What is this cave? Alright, well, this is all the artifacts for Medusa, which is good. That being said, I made my way out of this blessed cave, and I immediately replaced my old shotgun with the new 700 damage one. Then, when I returned back home, I put the 3 new artifacts up for display and flew back down to the red obelisk to check on my Theries. Okay, these guys are mostly healed up. I think we'll be alright. I don't think there's any, like, I want to say gimmick to this boss. You don't have to shoot it any specific place. I think it can dismount you. But, you know, as long as you stay far enough back, you should be alright. So let's toss these artifacts in. Summon... it's technically called Natrix, but it's Medusa, man. Okay. Here we are. Alright, so it looks like I have some time. So I buffed up the Thery army before going down to the ramp and straight to the boss. Oh, here she comes. Get her, boys. Sick her. Oh, wow, she sounds terrifying. Neutral! What are we doing? Are they like stunning? Is she stunning them? Okay, they look to be surrounding her, which is good. She did summon a few bats to aid in the fight, but honestly, my Theries were absolutely shredding through her from all sides. So there wasn't much else she could do but accept the whooping that we were delivering. She sounds evil, man. She must stun them. Yeah, okay. Because like they all froze for a second there. Alright, she's about dead. Bang, dude! That's what I'm talking about. It was definitely worth it to go through, grind out saddles, have a good army, you know, all that. These arenas are sick though, and I got a good amount of element again, even though this is just gamma. Anywho, I got teleported out of there and I flew back to base to put Medusa's head up on display in my house. Whoa, sick. Alright, so I want to take out the manticore with, I think, the lightning wyvern, so let's go start looking for eggs. There were a couple of trenches that I knew of, and one of those being here in the desert, so I flew out to that one first. But yeah, I want to use lightning wyverns just because the manticore is really annoying when it comes to landing, and I don't feel like fighting the rock golems that it summons. Going into the first trench, I quickly found an egg, but it was only a level 20 from a fire wyvern. This might be better to do on a Desmodus, because I can just pull out my gun on the back and kill them. I don't feel that confident in my Maywing skills either, to not fly straight into lava. On that note, I flew back home to get my bat instead, and when I returned, I got to test out my hypothesis. A lightning wyvern aggroed to me as I was flying down into the trench. Oh! That's why I brought the shotgun. Okay. Why is there a bunch of spots for nests but no eggs? I literally couldn't find any other nests except that level 20 fire one, so I decided to go to the second trench. I think I found the trench. Oh, there's no lava. This trench is not going to be easy to loot. There was this little entrance that led underground to a much bigger cave with more wyverns, and I even spotted a high-level lightning wyvern among the rest. Woo! Hope this isn't it. Oh, sure enough, that was it. Hopefully you laid an egg. I fought off the gang of wyverns that aggroed onto me, and I checked the level of a nearby lightning wyvern that was circling above the nest. Oh, that's a 190 lightning. I want to leave that alive if I can. That might lay more eggs. Please let this egg be the 190. 170. I mean, it's still good. I'm going to take it. I didn't take it just yet though, as I needed to make an escape plan by scouting the trench properly. Once I had a rough idea of where I should go, I returned down to the nest and snagged the 170 egg, instantly aggroing the 190 wyvern. Okay, Desmos are fast, I can make this. Oh, I think I got out. I did aggro a whole Rhiniothnatha leaving the trench, so I engaged it in a very short dogfight, which ended the second I pulled out my overpowered shotgun. I then teleported back to the desert and flew straight home to incubate the wyvern egg. Alright, let's get this wyvern raising up, and then I'm gonna have to go look for more. I think I might end up throwing it on the ground. For some reason, I think there's a chance, like when you have eggs and egg incubators, the chance to get like twins or triplets or whatever, I think it's lower than normal. So I'll throw it out and just hatch it normally. I'll let it incubate. It was, however, too cold for the egg to hatch, so I needed to craft up a few more AC units. Didn't even matter. It's a cool color pattern. Pretty unimpressive melee health. I imprinted it to boost the stats slightly, but they still weren't looking too great, so I would just have to hope to find a much better breeding partner. I did want to see the stats after giving it a bunch of XP though, so I flew back to the trench to kill a few wyverns as they're really good at giving experience. Let me go kill another wyvern though, and then when this goes up, I'll give it a bunch of XP, see what stats are like on these, because I'm not writing them. It's literally just health and melee. Just have to wait for it to grow up here. In the meantime, I'll probably research where artifacts are. I already had the artifact of the Gatekeeper and Crag, which I got from that one cave that I went to tame my Desmos at. This dude's just about grown up. In the meantime, I'm gonna go out and get the last artifact needed for Manticore, which is the artifact of the Destroyer, I believe. Let's go grab that. The cave holding said artifact was here in the desert as well, so I flew over to the coordinates and found the entrance. I then threw out my bat inside just to fly through the whole cave. Dude, there's a scorpion king in here. There's multiple. Okay, they must be supposed to spawn in here. Oh, well, here's the artifact. That's easy. A pretty quick and simple snatch, so now I had everything I needed to start the boss fight, except for the army of wyverns, of course. When I got back to base, I gave the drakelings XP to the now fully grown lightning wyvern, and I pumped its health up to 20k before dumping the rest of the points into melee. Okay, I mean that's a fairly strong wyvern, right? Surely. Alright, let's go see what the damage on this thing's looking like. Okay, so this wyvern's alright, I just need to get a female, start breeding them. But before going back into the trenches, I went out to retrieve the Dragon Horde chest, and there was even an Astral Raptor waiting for me by it, so I got that little bit of extra XP while doing so. Whoa! 238 armor tech rock drake saddle. That's insane. When I returned back home, I grabbed a few cryopods and stored some of my dinos away as it was getting crowded here again. Alright, in the meantime, I should get the artifacts for the hydra boss. I say in the meantime because I'm going to have to wait a little bit here until new wyvern eggs spawn in probably. So might as well knock out the hydra boss in the meantime. So a little bit of research later, I grabbed my Desmo and I flew out to a puzzle cave here in the desert. Okay, so this is the cave you can fight or summon the Minotaurcos boss in. Yeah, it's a puzzle. What is the correct name of this map? Astraeos. Can't use here. Alright, hold on. Let me go back out. I'm bringing my Desmo in here, man. Okay, well, here's where you spawn the boss, but this isn't the artifact. It's not crazy expensive. As for the artifact, I had to do some research on how to actually get it, since it wasn't just there in the cave ready to be snagged by me. Okay, well, I've just learned something troubling, I guess you could say. You've got to defeat the Minotaur boss, the Minotaurcos, to get the artifact of the strong. It's in his inventory when you kill him. It's never easy, man. Whatever. Let's focus the other artifacts right now. That being said, I made my way over to another cave on the complete opposite side of the map. And luckily, this cave was just another quick fly through to the back where the artifact was waiting for me unattended. See, this was easy. Why can't all the artifacts be like this? I put the artifact of the Skylord up for display when I got home on day 65. And now that I had multiple of them scattered around, they really added that extra touch to the base. Artifacts look so cool around the base, man. I couldn't admire them for too long though, as I still had to go out and get another artifact located in Limnakis. Oh, here we go. I threw my bat out to fly inside, but I was quickly turned around by the fact that this cave lacked a basic human necessity, being fresh air. Oh, it's like a swamp cave. You can't breathe the air. Man, okay. That meant that I had to go back home and make a gas mask, so I left a marker on my map where the cave was and then unlocked the engram. I need absorbent substrate. Yeah. I don't think I have any black pearls, which kind of gives me an excuse to tame one of those tortugars. Apparently those are really good at harvesting black pearls, and who knows, I might be able to get tech in this video as well. Let's go tame a tortugar. They were just a basic knockout tame, so I hopped on my bat and flew around the area near base to find a good level tortugars since they're just so abundant here. 50, 45, 140. So do they take reduced damage or torpor if you hit them on their shell? Surely, they're turtles. Yeah, they do. Alright, it's out. What do y'all eat? I got kibble. 3,600 weight already. Wow, that's a lot. Anyways, I grabbed a bunch of superior and exceptional kibble from the fridge and flew back to feed the big turtle. Oh yeah, they eat these. Should probably make a saddle. I don't think I need a platform saddle for it. Alright, it's tamed. Wow, this thing's a unit. 4.2k weight. Alright. I want to take it over to the volcano island because there's all those black pearls on the ground. I think it can harvest black pearls, right? I think that's its kind of gimmick. I flew over and into the volcano to find out. But first, I wanted to see this thing's abilities. Oh, yeah, it's got like a shell. Oh, wait, here's the controls. Toggle shell, left shift. Oh, you close yourself. Oh, yeah, and this lets you breathe underwater when you're in this. Forgot about that. Oh, and they do harvest black pearls. Oh, and they're crazy at it. Wow. Okay, this thing's actually really good. This is gonna be great for, like, I don't know, heck. Overall, it was a really worthwhile tame as it was great at getting black pearls. I even had to drop some just to fly back home as my maguana couldn't carry all of it. Anyways, to make the absorbent substrate, I had to use a little bit of sap that I had. How many gas masks can I make? 3? Might as well. With those crafted, I made my way back to the cave and threw out my bat again, and then put on the gas mask to fly through. Oh, I kind of want to open this. We know how insane these cave drops can be. After fighting the endless wave of cave critters, I opened the drop and found an Ascendant Flat Gauntlet's blueprint inside. But it cost half an industrial forge's worth of metal and barely had more armor than primitive ones. Those are terrible. Anyways, going deeper into the cave, I had to fight off more opposition so I could continue into this part of the cave that my bat was too big to fit through. Oh, the artifact's literally right here though. Okay, so the final 2 artifacts I need for the hydra, one of them's underwater and then the other one I gotta kill the Minotaurcos for it. So unfortunate. Let's go back and get scuba. I haven't had much trouble getting underwater ones though. A quick pit stop back at base later, I grabbed my scuba and dove into the ocean to look for the cave entrance. Once I found it, I headed right in and I swam through the first water part, which led to a short land tunnel, and at the end of it was another room with water. Oh, here it is. That was easy. Okay, well, I have every artifact except Artifact of the Strong. So I need to figure out how to kill the Minotaur because you can't throw cryopods out in there. So I can't lead my army of fairies through it. I'm gonna have to consult my friend YouTube/Google here.
3 hours later.
So between recording sessions, an update came out for Astraeos, and I think sap might be fixed now. I might actually be able to get sap from trees. So let me grab a chainsaw, fly back out towards Corinthos. Let's go test it out. I flew over to the spot that I tried to farm sap at the first time around, and sure enough, I actually was getting a bunch of sap from the trees now. This makes it able for me to get a lot more cakes, which is good. I tried using the pickaxe as well to see if it would be more effective, but it didn't look like it. I'm gonna go back to base and get a fairy, see if that'll harvest sap more. Okay. So I think there's a bee cave on the map as well. So let me take, where's my doehead? Let me take this dude. Because you gotta use doeheads to harvest the hives, but you get a ton of honey. But first, the sap. So I threw out my fairy and smacked one of the trees, giving me a ton of sap straight away. Oh yeah, fairies are better. So after stocking up on that, I made my way over to the supposed bee cave. When I entered, I was greeted by the usual cave-dwelling creatures, but I made quick work of them. However, once I got to actually smacking up the beehives with my dodic, I wasn't getting any honey. Holly? So I pulled out my chainsaw instead, and that on the other hand gathered a lot more honey than I could carry. With an inventory full of that, I flew back home and looked at the veggie cake ingredients again. Seeing that stimulant was the last thing that I needed to farm, I grabbed my Anki for a little bit of overtime to make more spark powder. And on day 6-7, I hopped on my kangaroo to do a little bit of lawn mowing for stimberries. With that made, I filled up the cooker with the other ingredients that I needed and finally started cooking my very own veggie cakes. Like, now that I have cakes, I'm super confident. You know, I can do like beta or maybe even alpha. It's just the update just came out to where I'm actually able to craft them. So like, I've just been planning for the wrong stuff this whole video. Typical Ark fashion, they break the game. We're accumulating a pretty good amount of veggie cakes here, man. I crafted a second feeding trough as well, and I brought that down to the red obelisk to feed my army of theries as well. Alright, we fed the theries, so this should be good. And then I just gotta go farm a little bit more honey. And then honestly, I'll have enough for like each theory to have a good, I don't know, 10 cakes. That's really good. I made a bunch more stimulant with the stimberries I had before heading out to get more honey at the bee cave. Woo! Back at the crib, I cooked up a ton more veggie cakes, and I even had to make a new fridge to store the leftover honey since I filled up both of my existing ones already. Alright, now that I've got a bunch of cakes made up, we can do pretty much whatever boss. I want to do the hydra next, obviously, but we first need to take out mini Tarkos to get the artifact of the strong required to summon it. So I want to fly back over to the cave and really see how large this entrance is. Because as I said, it's probably going to be difficult to get in there, but I'm thinking what I can do here. I'm going to see if I can't fit a Theri in. If I can't, I will probably, maybe we'll tame up a breeding pair of Thylas. I'll get an imprinted one, and then Thylas will put out a ton of damage, and also the bleed effect is just crazy. Inside the cave, I opened the door of the puzzle, but I really couldn't tell whether a Theri could fit inside. So I had to go back out, deploy one of the chickens, and waddle back in to see. Oh, it fits. Hold up. Okay, let me go all the way down there. I had a very slight amount of trouble finding the correct way in the maze again, but I eventually made it down to the boss room. But like, no, I can get Theris in here. Okay, this will work just fine. Well, we can get Theris in here, which is good. So let's just go back. I'm just gonna lead as many as I can in here. Let's go collect the army. Collect the troops. Like, it's just a mini boss. Like, it can't be that hard. Alright, time to get tributes for this thing. I'm actually going to use my lightning wyvern. I gotta get Thylaclaws, lightning wyvern talons, megalodon teeth, 2 corrupted hearts, and 25 corrupted nodules. So I flew out to the lava island first, as I could get the corrupted nodules and hearts there easily. I then flew back home to swap over to my Desmo, as I was going to get the Thylaclaws next, and I wanted to be able to shoot off the back of it. Come on, man, I just need 2 more Thylas. With the Thylaclaws all acquired, I made my way out to the Wyvern trench to get the Wyvern talons as well. That unfortunately was the only lightning wyvern in this trench. So I did have to fly out to the other trench, however that was a blessing in disguise as I came across a red drop with a ring on the way. And inside I found quite possibly the best Yudi saddle I have ever pulled from a drop. Holy Yudi saddle. Legendary pool. I stopped by the red obelisk to put it on my Yudi before flying out to the second trench to get the other lightning talon, but instead I ended up finding something much better. Oh, the 190 lightning egg. Bang, dude. Nice. Dude, getting that egg is so good. I knew I should have left it alive. How smart am I? All right, I'll stop. All right, finally, there's all the talons. Got the nodules, hearts, claws. What do I need? What am I missing? Megalodon teeth. I need 25 of those for some reason. Shouldn't be terribly hard though on my maguana. Hello. Finally, all the tributes I need. Let's head there. I did stop by base on day 70 to get the lightning wyvern raising, but I needed some more air conditioners to actually get the egg incubating since it was nighttime. These be the opposite gender of the one I already have. It's a male. Alright, come over here. Oh, of course you want wyvern milk, dog. Since both of my wyverns were male as well, I decided just to stuff this guy into a cryopod and leave it as a future problem for future me, as I still had a whole mini boss to take down. Okay, got everything I need. Let's go and try and take down Minotarchos. I don't know how to say his name. Alright, so this is gonna be like really hard to lead the Theres through the cave, and I don't want to do it all one by one, so I'm going to try to the best of my ability establish a Congo line type thing. So each Theory will be like following the one in front of it, and hopefully that'll keep it somewhat organized and actually maneuverable. My hopes aren't high, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyways, with all the theories whistled to one another, I hopped on the first one and slowly started making my way into the cave, making sure the rest would follow me in. It's working so far, but we're just now entering the cave. Okay, this is kind of working. Like this. Okay, this is kind of working. All right, let's make sure everyone makes it in the door. Oh, dude, this is actually working. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this to work. I made sure I was going the right way, as making a mistake here would end up being catastrophic for my Congo line. This would just be impossible on ASE. Like, they did pretty well with the pathfinding, I would say, on ASA. As I got down to the stairs that led into the arena, one of my theories got bamboozled, so I had to bring it down myself, hoping the rest would follow. Okay, this guy's catching on. He's figuring it out. That might be the only guy figuring it out. Something went really wrong with their AI here at the stairs, so I had to do a lot of manual adjusting on day 71. Is this the end of the line? All right, you stop following. And then I'll probably just take these guys over one by one. What? Really? I didn't even know that could die. I didn't even know it was rendered in. Anyways, the theory moving was a process to say the least, but I eventually got all of them over the green pit of death. Okay, all the theories are in here, thankfully. So the summoner's right here, or a terminal, I guess, and I think he summons up near that gate. And then there's like a wall right here that gets placed in like a world border, so you can't escape. All right, let's get me an artifact of the strong. Oh, sick him. Oh, we're melting him. Oh, he's so weak. We are destroying this guy. I mean, he hits pretty hard, but he doesn't have that much health. That's the thing. Bang, dude. Oh, it gives some solid loot too. It's not bad. Surprisingly, the mini-boss actually did more damage to my theories than the two actual bosses that I already fought. Anywho, since my maguana died, I decided just to teleport out of here. I then crowded up the army and ran back to base, which wasn't too far from this beach that I teleported to. There's the artifact of the strong. We have all the artifacts we need for the hydra boss. It's just, I don't want to do that just yet. I do need to get wyvern milk to raise this 190, because it will be better than the one I currently have, I'm pretty sure. Actually, knocking a wyvern out should be pretty simple off the back of my Desmos, so I crowded up and I grabbed another one of my imprinted maguanas to fly over. I then threw the bat out and started looking for a low-level female wyvern, as I was not about to knock out something high-level. Level 85. Just want a low-level female, man. Female level 20. Oh, it's already out. Bang. With the wyvern milk acquired, I teleported back to base and imprinted the 190 wyvern, boosting its stats up quite a bit. Oh yeah, this wyvern is leagues better than my other one. Alright, let's go deploy these theories back at the obelisk. With all the theories deployed at the red obelisk terminal again, I was pretty much ready to go and fight the hydra, so I headed back home to grab everything that I would need. Yeah, so the hydra boss, it's supposedly really hard, even on gamma. So we're gonna take all the veggie cakes we just made and have them in the theories. The cakes were pretty heavy as well, so I actually had to load them up on my RG to carry them over. Let's take these artifacts. Alright, I think we've got everything we need. Just need to fly the RG over, give everyone the cakes. I think we should be good. let's load these boys up. Ready for battle. They're probably gonna eat a cake or two, aren't they? Yeah. It's alright. Once they were all prepared with the cakes, I threw the artifacts into the terminal and I started the Gamma Hydra boss fight. Oh, he's coming for us. Oh, wow. Oh, just straight into it. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm gonna try and get behind him in Courage War. I think that's the best move. Wow, he does a lot of damage. This would be insane on Alpha. The Theries were pulling through though, and they were absolutely shredding through it as I would have expected. Oh, too easy. My Theries are too good. Good job. Good stuff. I mean, yeah, dude, he did. He was alive for maybe 60 seconds and did like 5,000 damage. That's kind of insane. Alright, everyone follow me. Let's go get the loot. This arena is sick though. I got 220 element for this fight and I had a very decent amount of it now, so perhaps it was time to upgrade to tech tier. What tech grams do I have? From the armor set, I only had the gauntlets and leggings, which was a bit underwhelming since I wanted the whole set. Anyway, when I teleported out of the arena, I flew back home and put the Hydra's head up for display on the greenhouse. I wonder if it'll have multiple heads now that I say it. Oh no, just one. That's kind of lame. That just makes it look like a snake, not a Hydra. It's still cool though. With that though, I had defeated 5 of the 8 bosses on Astraeos, leaving the manticore, theranados, and a couple of battle pigs that the names of I won't even try to pronounce.
Caledonios and Arimanethian.
That being said, the level 190 lightning wyvern was now fully grown, so I gave it the XP for my drakeling and leveled it up. 25,000 health and straight melee. Yeah, this thing's insane. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I just needed an army of these for the manticore boss and it'll be easy pickings. Or should be at least. As for the dragon horde chest, I actually found a whole tech helmet inside this one, which I really didn't expect to see. I couldn't equip it though because I don't have the engram unlocked sadly. Holy armor, dude. 1,000 armor. 1,500 durability. What? That's insane. These dragon horde chests are actually insane. Alright, so as I said for these like battle pigs, I think I called them. There's 2 pigs. It's a mini boss in the open world, so you can use and it's like actually out in the open, so I can use gigas. The thing is, I think one does fire damage and one does poison damage that can knock you out. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I need to raise up a few gigas, but I want to fly out there. It's up in what is that? Lemnakis? I think it's up there. It's up in like Lemnakis. I want to see what the tributes are that I need. So I headed over there on my maguana and I found their terminal just under this big tree. Okay, let me take a screenshot of this. So yeah, it's two, I guess, oversized Datons. With the tributes noted down, I could fly back home and get straight to work. I first threw my other giga out on day 73 to get them breeding. Alright, I'm also gonna bring 2 Theries to help tank the damage, and then I just want the gigas to bite. Giga eggs take forever to incubate. I want to get a few giga eggs incubating, and then I'll probably go look for more wyverns. I guess I can scout this trench that's nearby. I just need a female lightning, man. There was a lightning egg in the trench, however, it was a level 25. I mean, I guess I said, like, I only need the health and melee stat, but, raising a level 25, I don't know. I'm not doing that. Just gonna eat it. Karma caught up with me real quick when I tried to snatch a fire wyvern egg as well, but Mama Wyvern wasn't too happy about that. Woo! Well, it's a 170. Is this gonna be a 170 egg then? Sure enough. That was pretty much it for this trench though. So I flew back home to check on the giga eggs before realizing I also needed to kill a few wyverns for their talents. So I hopped back on my bat and flew back over there. Oh, female 170, please lay an egg. Please lay an egg. I'm gonna leave that alive. I teleported to the other trench in the meantime and started hunting the wyverns there for their talons. Oh, bad fingered. Please just die. Actual buffoon, dude. Drakelings are so OP though. Anywho, I killed a few more wyverns before teleporting back to base and hatching the giga eggs so they could start growing. Oh, mutation, dude. Look at this thing. It's sick. I don't know if it got a health or melee mutation, but look at it. After taking care of the baby gigas, I flew back to the wyvern trench in the desert and I looked around to see if the level 170 lightning wyvern had laid an egg anywhere, but the whole trench looked to be empty. I want to see if I can lead this thing to the trench and like get it stuck in the trench and then leave. Hopefully it'll lay an egg. I successfully broke the wyvern's ankles and I left the trench with the wyvern still inside. So I then headed back home, got on my maguana, and headed out to collect the rest of the tributes for the boss fight. And while I was at it, I also visited some of my old friends that I haven't checked on in a little while. Those of course being the beavers, but I wasn't just here to say hello since it's tax season, so I'm here to do a specific job. The tribute grind continued into day 75, and I once again had the privilege of meeting Houdini himself. What? Where did its body go? Bro, are we serious? Alright, I think I just need some corrupted nodules and corrupted hearts, and then I have everything for the boss fight. But I do have to level and heal the gigas. Oh, this green one looks so cool, dude. I'm gonna put like all the levels into it I can. I definitely want to ride this one. I'm gonna give this one a name. Green Lantern. It's not a crazy name, but you know, it's the best I got. To craft saddles for the gigas, I would need more hide, so I grabbed my main giga and headed over to the lava island to get that, as well as the corrupted nodules and hearts. Alright, gigas are grown up. All the tributes I need. Now I just need to level them up and heal them up. I crafted the saddles and threw them on before giving Green Lantern the drakeling XP and pumping its melee up as much as I could. Alright, now let's go around killing Astraeos for XP to level up these other two. I just need to level up one more of these guys and then heal them. It's really annoying looking for Astraeos, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like there's less than there were at the start of the video. On day 77, I flew back home and leveled up the last of the gigas so I could bring them all together to heal them with the Daedon. They've got a lot of health to heal. This could take a minute. I assembled a little healing circle and healed them up as much as I could before I had to go get more raw meat for the pig. I also opened the Dragon Horde chest while I was out and about, but this one didn't have anything that I needed. The Wyvern wasn't terrible at getting raw meat, but I eventually resorted just to bringing my Giga over to the lava island, and I got a lot more quicker. Ton of raw meat in there. Surely that does some pretty good work on its food. If you fly super far away from the Daedon, de-render it, then fly back, it'll eat all the food, so you don't have to wait for it, so that should be good. You really don't have to fly that far. Yeah, see, it ate all of it. Wow, okay, that actually capped it out. Okay, awesome. I think they're all healed up. Yeah, pretty much. Perfect, dude. So let's go do this boss, finally. And then I need to make sure to bring a gas mask, maybe some spare armor, because I know one of them has a poison attack that can knock you out off your tame, even on a Giga that sits super high. That being said, I crafted a few more gas masks, repaired my armor, and with that I was ready to take on the two pigs. Okay, so here's the area. Let me clear it real quick. Dude, this thing looks so cool. A quick sweep of the area later, I deployed the other gigas as well, and I posted up a couple of my theories in front so they could do the tanking of the damage. So the terminal is right here, and then I'm pretty sure the pigs spawn one on each side of the terminal. So I'll just sprint back. I want the Theries to take the hits, then I'll whistle the Gigas in to DPS. And I don't want the Gigas taking too many hits if possible. I did have to make a quick trip back home to grab veggie cakes since I forgot those, but when I returned I was ready to face the pigs. So I filled up the terminal and summoned them in. Oh, they're right there. I put the gas mask on, and once they were aggroed onto my Theries, I whistled the Gigas in to rush in and munch on them. Oh, we're on fire. We are on fire. Kill them quick, please. Wow, that doesn't feel good. Ooh, Gigas are already looking bloody. That's not good. This guy's getting singled out. That's one. Okay, they're both dead. Good. Do they have loot? No? Wow. That's kind of awful, being honest. That's terrible. That's not worth doing at all. At the very least, I got slightly better Ascendant Flak boots, so it wasn't all for nothing. Now, the only bosses we have left to do are the Manticore, which I have to raise a whole army of wyverns for. I still gotta get a female lightning wyvern. And then Thanatos, which is just the King Titan, so I'm probably just gonna have to raise a bunch more gigas. I'll definitely throw the Theries at it as well. Okay, let's go see if that 170 female lightning laid an egg. Hopefully it did. As I arrived at the trench, I spotted a female level 185 lightning wyvern in the sky, so surely one of the two had to lay a good egg for me. Fire? No, 2 fires? That lightning has to have an egg. There is 2 high-level lightning wyverns around here, man. Surely one of them laid an egg. I flew around the whole trench, but there were no more nests, so I had to go back and eat the 2 fire eggs that were taking up space. On day 79, I teleported to the other trench and flew inside to see what was in store. 50. No, they're both level 50? What? Oh. Dude, I guess I'm just gonna raise these and then try and breed out the health in melee. At this point, it seemed to be less of a headache to try and do that than to keep looking for more eggs. So I teleported back to base and I threw 2 new lightning eggs into the incubator. Okay, well it is a female. Like I do need to raise it. Yeah, they're both female, which is good. That's what I needed. I also had to get more gigas going, and since I had my cool looking green giga, I threw that out to breed with the male, so the rest of my army could ore farm during the boss fight as well. I stayed around until the wyverns fully grew up, and then brought them down to the backside of the base to get them breeding with the high level male. Unfortunately, the first 2 eggs I incubated did not meet the cut because they lacked either the good health or melee stat. Oh, I'm like destroying my own foundation. So the elimination process continued into day 80. Oh, 163, come on. No! It's got like every good stat except health. Bro. The next wyvern I got came out as a female with a good health, and I remembered that I should keep it alive since I would then only need to bring one of the good stats out, being the melee in this case. Nah, sometimes I just don't think. Oh, I got a perfect female. Okay. Well, that was kind of brutal. That being said, I gotta wait for this to grow up now. So in the meantime, I hatched the fire wyvern egg I had as well and filled up the incubator with giga eggs. Okay, so I'm about to start mass producing like good wyverns, and I'm gonna store them down here. I'm just running out of room up here, so I want to make a little staircase down here. I haven't done any building in a while, so I'm not sure how this is gonna come together. I'm just gonna kind of freehand it, see as I go. Alright, I've got the staircase down here constructed. Now, let's Greekify it. Yep, once again, this looks very, very good. Now that the good female lightning wyvern was fully grown as well, I brought it down and got it breeding with the good males so I could start raising the army. Alright, finally, we're breeding a good pair of these things. Alright, in the meantime, while those are producing eggs, I think we should pop out some gigas. Oh, I got a blue one? I think it might have a health mutation, I'm not totally sure. Sick though. With a bunch of baby gigas in my pocket, I crafted up another feeding trough and placed it down at the area that I just built my staircase at so I could have them all growing up down there. Alright, let's start throwing these guys out, imprinting them, and raising them. These will be the guys that I use to fight the natives. Basic kibble? I'm sure I have that with all the kibble I have. Alright, we've got a bunch of gigas ready raising, which is good. Now we've got wyvern eggs coming along, right? Yeah. I picked up the incubator and brought it down to the staircase so I wouldn't have to cryo all the babies. We're getting there, man. We've just got to grind out this stuff for a few days. So I spent pretty much the entirety of day 82 exclusively raising and imprinting my lightning wyvern babies, as well as filling up the trough with the remains of the unfortunate creatures that happen to exist in the area. I've got to feed my wyverns somehow. Alright, how many battle wyverns is this? 2, 6, 7, 10. Alright, kind of need like double that. I think I need to make more cryopods because these gigas have all the health that I'm able to give them, and they'll just be going through food because they'll still gain health in cryopod. They just won't eat food. That being said, I cryoed the ones that were fully matured, and while waiting for the rest to grow up, I looked into making this cryo hospital thing. Dude, okay, I kind of want to do something. There's this cryo hospital where you can make these. You have to make them in a replicator, and then they have to be powered by a tech. Do they have to be powered by a tech generator? Maybe not. Wait, yeah, requires tech power to activate. Okay, you do need a tech generator, but you get those from the beta manticore or the gamma manticore. I can get a tech generator unlocked. Like, that could be a super good way to heal up these gigas that are gonna take forever. On that note, I had to get the rest of the wyverns raising, and I could then focus on farming up a replicator. I don't know how a replicator is really gonna fit into this base, but I'm gonna make it. Whoa, holy mutation, look at this thing. This thing looks insane, man. It's so sick. Oh, and you want to cuddle? Perfect. Anywho, while that was growing, I grabbed my Anki and headed out to do another big metal run since the replicator is pretty costly in the metal department, and pretty much every other department. Back at the crib on day 84, I split the metal into all the forges and threw one of the Therius out to farm wood for them too. With all of them lit and cooking again, I looked into the other requirements for the replicator. I already had the black pearls and polymers, so I just needed to go out and get the crystal. After farming that, I crafted another storage box, and I loaded up the argy with metal ingots, so I could fly down to the red obelisk and store all the heavy resources there. On day 85, I got back to my wyverns to level them up a bit before making one trip to the obelisk with the resources. Unfortunately, after looking at the mere 50 slots the terminal had, I came to the conclusion that organic polymer wouldn't make the cut, so I'm gonna have to go back up and craft hard polymer. Oh, I got a ton of polymer right here. Oh wait, we've got elevator stuff. This will give me a bunch of polymer, right? I brought a bunch of the hard polymer over to the terminal before going out to the desert and dropping a few mantises to get the rest of the organic polymer. And then I finally came back and crafted the long-awaited replicator. Here we go. Replicator. Now I just had to figure out where I would actually place it at home since I was kind of running out of real estate up here. Alright, I have no idea how I'm going to build this to where it's gonna look good. Cause I wanna make it look good and like fit in with my Greek base, but you know, it's gonna be hard. Alright, let's try and put this together somehow to where it'll look good and try and fit into the base. Like if I make this look good, I bet this will be the best base that I've ever built in a 100 days video at least. I mean, alright, it's literally just a platform, but it's fine. It does what I need it to. Okay, we have a replicator. Now let's get back to focusing on leveling up, healing up these wyverns, and then we'll do the manticore boss. I put whatever levels they had into them before going out to hunt for astral dinos as usual. I did, however, have a bunch of Rex and Theri eggs left over in my Oviraptor, so I could incubate those and sacrifice those too for quicker leveling. But to make that more effective, I of course needed a very specific companion of my own. Let's go out and tame a Lystro. This will help the XP grind for the wyverns. After bringing the little guy back to base, I of course had to give him the fitting name that he always rocks in my videos. Of course, I gotta give this thing the classic name of Cody. With that, I can start leveling all the wyverns by of course committing a multitude of crimes against nature itself, all in the name of progress of course. Anyways, I did also have my drakeling on me, so I gave the levels to a wyvern before going out to try and retrieve the dragon horde chest. I say try though because for some reason the entire skeleton nation decided to guard the area in which the chest spawned in, and I'm not about to fight them all. Oh bro, I don't think I'm getting that dragon horde. So back to killing more innocent Rexes I went. Alright, I hatched pretty much all the eggs I have, and I guess I can hatch some giga eggs. I've got what, five wyverns left to level? I'll just go out and kill astrals and then just transfer the XP using the drakeling. I swear it's just best to go up to, what is this? Fokintos? The one up north. That one always has like argys and mammoths that I can go take out pretty easily. Oh, these will give good XP. Alright, one more wyvern to power level, and these guys are still all healing up. I'm just gonna hatch these gigas and kill it. Alright, I'm just gonna start healing up with my Daedon to help out. But first, a quick meat run over on the lava island as my pig and the troughs were out of meat. And on day 90, I finally had most of my wyverns fully healed up with a couple of exceptions. But overall, we were pretty much ready to take on the manticore. They're all about healed up, just missing a few thousand. I think we should steamroll the manticore. That being said, I did have to go down to the red obelisk and whistle all of my Therius to follow me back up to base, so I could then start the slow and grueling task of parking all the wyverns there instead. I still plan on riding my UD and just buffing them when I can. Dude, I got no clue how I'm gonna make all my wyverns fit. I just have, their hitboxes are just so bad, I just can't get it. I got an idea. What if I like build a structure on top of it? I can just do it out of thatch. I can have like double layered wyverns. I think that might have to be the move. Back at base, I looked into my forges and they were all done smelting, so I extinguished the fire before grabbing a few structures and crafting the rest. Okay, let's just land this guy here. Back him all the way up like that. Yeah, okay. This could work. Alright, this is working. This is so very scuffed, but it's working. I brought the last few wyverns over to the obelisk as well and parked them around the platform. Alright, let me fly back up to base, get everything I need, and we'll fly back here and do this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous. I hope all the wyverns do go into the boss. I grabbed a bunch of stews from my fridge since I had such an unholy amount of them anyway, and I picked up the necessary artifacts to actually start the boss fight. I am very interested to see how this is going to go. I don't think I've ever done a boss fight with wyverns, let alone the manticore. Yeah, there's really not much else to say besides, like, I just hope this works. I've been on a roll so far, been taking down all the bosses as we need, but this is insane looking. Okay, let's not beat around the bush, let's just do it. Oh, you need talons. Oh my, dude. Looks like there was a little side quest waiting for me before I could actually start the fight, as I completely forgot to get the talons for this fight. So I flew back to base on one of the wyverns and hopped on my bat to go out and quickly source said talons. Gonna have to go to the other trench. Can't ever be easy, man. Cannot ever be easy. Okay, finally, man. Got the talons. Let's go do this boss. Really hope this pans out in my favor. Alright, dude. Let's do this. I really hope this goes well. I buffed the wyverns up as much as I could before whistling neutral just as the manticore noticed us and decided to swing first. Hit him! Sick him! Oh, wow, that looks insane. Oh, they're decimating it. They are killing it. Wait, why can't I move? Oh, no, I can't move. I can't move. I mean, they're destroying it, but I can't move. Yeah, my Yudi did get slightly stuck on the terminal, but a random death warren pulled up and was kind enough to nudge me, setting me free. Oh, I'm free. Sick 'em. All right, we should be fine, I think. I mean, they're definitely taking damage, that's for sure. All right, I think it's about dead. Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that was a bit more chaotic than I would have liked, but, you know, it worked out for us. I only got 68 element from this fight, but it's not like I would be needing a lot of it now anyway. And after teleporting out of the arena, I had quite the mess to sort through. Holy, frames are gone. I wanted to pick up the platform I constructed in the middle to free the wyverns, but they were all flapping their wings, so I couldn't get to it, meaning there was only one way of demolishing it. Alright, dude, I have an extreme measure, so I can't get to the pillar to free the wyverns, so I think I'm just gonna shoot a rocket at it to make it blow up. Luckily, I had quite the stockpile of rockets from looting various drops and dragon horde chests. This could end quite terribly. So that didn't really work, but I had to get the wyverns out of there somehow. Hold up, I got an idea. Sure enough, it was easy as that. Anywho, I flew back home and put the manticore's head up for display in my smeltery. Dang! Tough. Alright, man. Last boss we have left, Thanatos. So let's make the generator and then the cryo healer, and that'll help me, you know, heal my dinos quicker. I transferred all the resources that I needed into the replicator, but I needed more black pearls, so on day 93 I headed out to the volcano with my Tortugar again. I also paid a visit to the desert to kill a mantis or two for polymer before returning home and powering up the replicator again so I could finally craft the generator and cryo hospital. There's the tech generator. Now, need a little bit more polymer, electronics, and crystal. Okay, got what I need here. So let's put down the tech generator. Where do I want to put this? It's gonna look kind of funny in this Greek base. Got to put it where this is. There we go, tech generator, power it up. Alright, now, cryo hospital. I've never used one of these before. How does it work? Put it right here. Just turn it on. Do I have like an injured dino maybe? Oh yeah, okay, I've got an injured wyvern. So it's healing in cryopod. It's got about 20,500 health out of 25,000. So if I put it in here, what happens? Oh, it heals so quick. Look at that, that's insane. And it makes its food go up too. Yeah, okay, this thing's really good. Wow. Okay. Their XP gain is also increased, so overall this cryo hospital is a great place to store tames in. Okay, so how many can this hold? Only 8? Okay. But no, dude, this is really good. Like, it's already gained, what, 300 health since I put it down? Wow, okay. So most of these gigas are healed already. Well, with that, let's make, well, we'll start, we'll hatch up some more gigas, and then we'll go make more cryopods, raise them up, get imprint, and then we'll just slap them on the cryo healer and they should heal relatively quickly. And I will also, in the meantime, while I'm doing all that, be be doing research on how to actually kill Thanatos. Let's get them all breeding. While those were doing their thing, I brought a bunch of resources over to the replicator, and I gathered a ton of fiber in seconds with my theory so I could craft up a bunch of giga saddles. See, this wyvern's already healed up, dude. That's insane. Anywho, I got to raising and imprinting the baby gigas throughout day 94, but I really didn't need a ton of them as the cryo hospital could only hold 8 at a time. Wait, how many is this? I'm only gonna do 8. 5? I can do one more. Because that's how many I can put into a cryopod and heal them up. So then I've got to saddle them all up and begin the hunt for Thanatos, or else we're going to run out of time here before day 100. While they grew, I went out to do a meat run with Green Lantern, and on day 95, I started giving them XP for my drakeling. I then would cryo them to start the healing process in the cryo hospital. So now these guys are being fully raised. Throw them on the cryo healer. Whoa, they glow red when they don't have much health. Look how quickly it heals, man. These things are so good. I was, however, pretty much out of cryopods, so after retrieving this dragon horde chest, I grabbed all the resources that I needed and flew down to the obelisk to make some more. Back at the crib, I cryoed up the remaining gigas to fill up the cryo hospital, and now that I had it fully slotted, it looked really cool glowing red. In the meantime, let's keep crafting saddles. Wow, man. These have been on the terminal for maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes? Healed 10,000 health already. It's insane. So I'm just getting these guys saddled up now. So I think, as you guys probably know, Thanatos is I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, man. I hope I am. He's not a normal boss. He spawns in the open world and he's only there for what, 15 minutes? So like, once I'm all ready to go, I'm just gonna have to have everything on me, and then as soon as I see him spawn in, immediately just go start throwing stuff out. Like, I'm not gonna have time to come back to base and grab everything. That's alright. That's what we're preparing for here. I managed to get a very decent sized army of gigas raised up, so I wasn't too worried about it. Okay, so these gigas are still healing. I've got these guys all ready to go in case the NATO spawns in. Oh, are these guys? Oh, they're all healed up. Awesome. But before I focus on that, there's one last thing that we need to do, and that is to tame a kipper. I've had the drakeling on my shoulder throughout this entire video just because how useful it is, but we have to get a kipper. It's mandatory. So I want to get him a helmet, and I want to put like the same skin that I've got on my helmet. So we'll craft a helmet, drag it over here, and get the cosmetics, and then I think this one will look best on kipper. All right, let's go. I'm just gonna go scout the ponds, probably up in Corinthos or Fokintos, sorry. I'll probably go scout those. That being said, I grabbed some scuba gear and headed out to search for a kipper. That's one right there. I gotta save it. That's an otter, right? Oh, that's a hyenodon. Yeah, there were in fact 0 otters in this pond, so the search continued. Oh, dude, there's one right here. Oh, okay, 135. This could be interesting. Bet. I put the helmet on Kipper to see how glorious he would look, but let's just say there was something slightly off with the fitment. What? Okay, this is not working right. Bro, look at the... Okay. Why is it above you? Kipper, what black magic are you practicing? I don't think this is working how it's supposed to. I tried to apply other skins, but they were all cursed, so I ended up making it far worse by grabbing a skin from Lost Colony. Okay, well, the Greek skins won't work. I think this will. What is this, dude? Okay, whatever, this will work. We've got a kipper. So our other gigas are healed. It's time to get them saddles. And then, yeah, dude, honestly, just try and find Thanatos, wait for him to spawn in. Let's do it. To get the hide for the remaining few saddles, I flew out to the lava island again. On day 97, the gigas in the cryo hospital were all healed up, so I popped them out to get them saddled up and ready for the final battle against the titan Thanatos himself. And with the whole army in my back pocket now, I hopped on my maguana and headed over to the lava island where the boss actually spawns. And him spawning in is what actually ended up happening way sooner than I anticipated. Oh, it's here! Okay. Dude, he's here. I'm freaking out. I'm leaving the giga. I'm leaving it. I don't have time. It's only day 97, but I've done everything else. I just gotta go for him. We gotta go, man. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for you. Where's he at? Oh, he's right there. As his health bar appeared, I started throwing out all the gigas, and as soon as the whole army was deployed, I hopped on one of them, then whistled attack on the rest of the gang. Got it. Sick him. Oh, get down here. Oh, we're destroying him. Oh, he's not that strong. He's not that strong. Go, go, go. Sick him. Oh, we're doing we're doing great damage. Oh, wow, this is gonna hurt. Why are we doing 23,000? What? Oh, no. Oh, come on, come on. Yes! Yes! Dude, we did it. That was so, like, impromptu. Like, I was not planning that to happen. Oh, we did it, man. That's insane. Beat 8 bosses in less than 100 days. It's day 97. Oh, we did it, man. Kipper. Kipper, we did it. Well, with that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for the support, and make sure to like the video and comment down below what type of 100 days you want to see next from me. And Kipper and I will catch you in the next one. Once again, don't forget to download War Thunder today using my link in the description or pinned comment to receive a huge bonus pack, featuring the exclusive Eagle of Valor vehicle decorator, 100,000 silver, and 7 days of premium account.